Pod Mortem would like to thank Original Cinematic for sponsoring this week's episode. Original Cinematic is an independent production company that has made it their mission to create, produce, and promote films that are inclusive, honor women, promote the LGBTQIA+ community, and provide prominent positions and roles to POC actors and filmmakers, and promote the films of marginalized and underrepresented populations. These are all things that are extremely important to our podcast as well.
Original Cinematic is currently accepting scripts and treatments. Both William and Xxena Rush are available via email or Zoom to discuss writing and provide input and resources to all aspiring writers, free of charge. Their information will be made available in the show notes. There may be delays due to a hectic schedule and all projects being read on a first-come, first-served basis, but everything will be read and responded to. William Rush has individually produced numerous projects, including Pack is Here, Before, The Cottage, The Winemaker, and Day by Day. Their multi-award-winning film Group premiered and was celebrated at multiple film festivals as well as screenings, both in person and via Zoom, that were made graciously available to us and our patrons.
Original Cinematic has many exciting projects on the horizon. Their next film, Immersion, has been completed. The award-winning Sweetener is in development, Fetish begins shooting in September, and Encore will begin next spring. Their documentary Women in Conversation is slated for a September release, and we are looking forward to each and every one of them. It is truly an honor to partner with Original Cinematic, and we can't thank them enough for their contribution to our show. And now, back to our regularly scheduled program.
Salutations! Welcome to Pod Mortem. I'm Reneé Hunter-Vasquez, joined as always by my co-hosts, my husband, and my brother.
Hi, I'm John Paul Vasquez.
Hi, I'm Travis Hunter-Sayapin.
This week, we are recording live from a drive-in theater discussing the 1975 made-for-TV horror anthology, Trilogy of Terror. This film was directed by Dan Curtis with screenplays by William F. Nolan and Richard Matheson, all based off of stories by Matheson. These three thrilling and unrelated stories are all linked by the same leading lady. Tackling shockingly dark subject matter, this film dares to explore the darkness of Matheson's storytelling. Bringing his works to life with the talent and dedication of Karen Black's performance wowed television audiences in 1975. And even now, 50 years later, Trilogy of Terror still enjoys a cult status among many horror fans. This film has been requested to us by friends of the show, Nisa Hunter, Laura Fizz, Probably My Jugs, Mike H., Cookie, Martin Shaw, Stephen Junius, Topher Williams, and Beth Bauer. We want to thank them all for their support as well as this suggestion. So, what did you guys think of Trilogy of Terror the first time you saw it?
I'll be honest, I don't remember the first time I saw it because I know I've seen the full last segment, but I don't really remember the first two.
Mm-hmm.
So at some point I either watched just that or I watched it, the whole thing, but I only remembered that. But then we watched it again. I watched it with you guys.
Yeah.
I did enjoy this. There's a charm to this movie that is, even if you didn't grow up watching it a lot, I feel like a majority would still probably get it. You know what I mean? You'd still be like, hey, that was very simple yet effective. That was, it's, you notice some things, but it's still just, the story's still going. It's fine. I did still enjoy this. Watching it for the show, I was like, I still was sitting there yelling at the TV. And I was like, this is, even at the end, I was like, you know what? Some of the segments aren't as strong as one or the other one, but it's still fine. It's still fine. I would
some of them. I think you're referring to one.
Yes.
Yes.
The one. Well, there's only three. But again, I did really enjoy this.
I really, really love returning to this film.
Mm-hmm.
This was a staple growing up.
Okay.
Our mom loves this. Her name was at the top of the request list. And I can't even count how many times I've seen it in my life.
Yeah.
The funny thing is exactly what you've said. Again, I can't count how many times I've seen this in my life, but every single time I watch it, I do not remember the first the first two segments.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's to say that the strength of the third one is just so good comparatively.
Right.
Or that the other two are weaker than the third or whatever it is. Or maybe just the child mind of when we first saw it.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you going to attach to as a kid?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's pretty obvious.
Right.
But I think that returning to it is just this charming, like campy, fun.
Yeah.
And the atmosphere of it is just something that is so comfortable to return to. There is this 1970s aesthetic throughout, whether it's the setting, the score, the way that it's shot, I don't know, there's something about it that is just, it's like home.
Yeah.
You know? And it's not to say that it's perfect, of course.
Of course,
Right,
yeah.
right.
Because it has its moments where it's just like, especially that second segment where it's like, I think we all know where we're going, right?
Yeah.
But it's still fun getting there, But I just, I'm glad that we're getting to talk about this film because it has been a favorite for probably my entire life.
Yeah. I totally agree. I'm a little surprised it's taken us this long to get to it because it is it's like a looming giant when you think of horror that you watched as a kid. In our house, we watched it all the time. Like our mom loves this. I think that it is, like both of y'all said, it is so much fun to return to. And I don't, there are some movies that we cover where it's like, oh, this is about 89% nostalgia. Like, this is not good. I agree, John Paul, that I think that even if you were to just watch it now, you'd be like, oh, that's fucking fun. Like, some of it's ridiculous. Some of it's over the top. Why is Karen Black playing every single role?
Yeah.
But it is so charming. There's something that just works about it.
Speaking of Karen Black, though, her commitment to it.
Oh, yeah.
She knows exactly what this is.
No, she tears it up.
And she kills it every single segment.
Look, she does exactly what she's supposed to. I will be honest. Every single one, was a bit of a choice, but no, yeah, she does a really good job.
I love that aspect of it. It's such a swing and it's such an odd thing to do, but I think it's so, I don't know, I love it. I think as a kid watching it too, it's like I could do that. I could make something and play every single role.
Yeah.
But it's just a lot of fun. Again, we rewatched this after, for me, many years of not watching it. Sometime during the pandemic, we, like you were saying, John Paul, we all watched it together. And my surprise at the darkness of that first segment,
yes,
I truly did not remember that. I don't know. I don't think I remembered the second one, but as quickly as you figure it out, I'm like, do I remember?
Yeah.
Is this somewhere back there in the catalog? But that third one, again, especially watching it as a child, that shit is going to stick with you.
Oh, yeah.
That final shot that we get, which obviously we're going to be talking about in a little while, that is something that I always remembered, always. And looking at it now as an adult, it's like, yeah, that's pretty cheesy. It's pretty whatever. But it's like, no, dude. It's great. Like it really, especially watching it as a kid, that stayed in my brain forever. Every time I would see Karen Black, I would think of that.
Yeah. And it's just flat out nightmare fuel for a child.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know, I feel like it must have set the tone for things that came later.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And Matheson's just a fucking beast, like a legend. And so again, revisiting and doing the research, I was like, oh my God, I didn't know these were all, and it fucking says it.
Yeah, I know.
It literally says it, but I didn't realize that they were all his adaptations, and I didn't realize that this was a made-for-TV movie.
Yeah, me either.
Well, as a kid, it's the scariest thing you've ever seen in your life. Like, there's no way they're showing this on TV.
No. But yeah, it brings a lot of comfort in a weird way, a lot of joy. And it really, for me, holds up as just a fucking fun, weird horror experience.
It is, I think, what helps it. And I know I love the low budget. But I think it's like seeing what they do with what they have. They're working with what they're given or what they can afford. And it's like that. Some of it, like you said, it is cheesy or it is kind of like, all right. But I think that some movies can pull it off and some can't. And for whatever reason, I feel like this one is in that. Even if I see a wire or whatever, I don't give a shit.
It's whatever.
Yeah, I don't care.
And again, that lends itself to the charm.
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
thinking about it, that second story almost feels like a stage play.
Yeah.
Like it is very, I don't know. There's just something where it's like choices were made, but they work. They work for me.
Yeah.
And maybe because, it was part of setting my taste. If you think about it,
Yeah.
how young we all watched this is a taste maker.
Yeah.
When you watch it this young. So it's like, I don't know. It is a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
But before we get started, obviously, I want to very briefly speak about the production of this TV movie, I guess. I got my information from a commentary track, an interview that was on the DVD sleeve, and an article in Bloody Disgusting.
Okay.
So director Dan Curtis, again, I didn't know this either, created Dark Shadows in 1966.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, so outside of the box for the time. Like, this dude was visionary, and because he's like a gothic fucking soap opera. But again, iconic.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until its cancellation in 1971 that his collaborations with Richard Matheson began. Together, they did The Night Stalker in 1972, with Curtis producing and Matheson adapting the screenplay. After producing or directing several other projects, including The Norliss Tapes, Scream of the Wolf, and even Dracula in 1974,
Very cool.
Yeah.
Curtis decided to focus on Matheson's short stories directly. And these 3 selected stories would be packaged together for a television event.
All right.
You see where I'm going with this?
Mm-hmm.
So on the commentary, I thought this was very funny. William Nolan said that he couldn't remember if he was approached by Matheson or Curtis to write the teleplay, but he was very excited to do it. He only wrote the first 2 segments, though, and Matheson kept the final one for himself to adapt the teleplay for.
Okay.
So Nolan said that they had a long-running joke that Matheson had kept the good one for himself because nobody ever remembers the first 2. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry.
It's like he knows.
Yeah. Well, we can all tell.
There you go.
No. But he said when people would find out that he wrote Trilogy of Terror, they would gush about the final segment, and he would have to admit that that was the only one he didn't write. And so he said that after a while, when people would be like, oh, the doll, whatever, he'd be like, I know, right? But as we said, with Karen Black playing 4 different lead roles in the 3 segments, this film allowed her to showcase her talents and versatility. This performance led to her collaborating with Curtis again in Burnt Offerings in the following year, cementing Black's position in the horror genre, much to her own admitted chagrin. But we'll talk about that in a little bit. But Trilogy of Terror premiered as the ABC Movie of the Week on March 4th, 1975. And was received by an enthusiastic audience. It brought to life one of the most iconic dolls in horror with the Zuni fetish in its 3rd and unfortunately most memorable segment. And that segment was deemed so disturbing that it was completely removed in other countries. They only did the 2.
What?
So they don't remember any of it.
So it's all lost.
It's lost media.
Yeah.
Now, before we unleash this film, we would like to issue a warning for spoilers. Pod Mortem is a very in-depth podcast, and in thoroughly discussing horror films, we have no choice but to spoil a thing or 2. If you don't wish to be spoiled, please go watch the film, then come back and enjoy the show. If you've already seen the film or don't care about spoilers, then let's call the doctor. The film opens with bells tolling on a college campus. Students pass through, walking to class, and when a quad of women walk together, holding their books and bags and talking, we hear a voice speaking to them quietly. Hi, how you doing? Math class, huh? Their stride doesn't break as they continue by, but once they're gone, we see that the voice belongs to Eddie Nels, played by Jim Storm, who cranes his neck to get one last look at them before they disappear into the building.
Jim Storm. He's in 70 episodes of One Life to Live from 68 to 69. 81 episodes of Dark Shadows from 70 to 71.
There it is.
And Dark Mirror from 07.
Okay.
So he's, spread it out a little bit.
Yeah.
And he's got a great name.
Very.
Yeah.
That's a meteorologist's name. Yeah. I will say I don't know how much of this chatter is like added in post or whatever from these passing people, but this was actually filmed at the University of Southern California.
Oh, cool.
Oh, wow.
Sitting next to Eddie, Chad Foster, played by Robert Burton, is less impressed. He asks his friend, "Have you ever seen so many dogs in one place?"
Jeez.
Yeah.
I know.
Eddie muses that the problem with Chad is that he's spoiled, and Chad agrees. A teacher, Julie Eldridge, played by Karen Black, walks by, dressed modestly, glasses, her hair pinned up, her books clutched to her chest. She demurely wishes them good morning as she passes, and Eddie quips, "Now that's ugly."
She's still right there.
Who are these guys?
And their hair is funny. Shut up.
Yeah.
That's Karen Black.
What are you talking about?
Fucking stupid.
Karen Black, we did talk about her in House of a Thousand Corpses.
Yes,
Yeah.
we did.
She was also an Easy Rider from 69, The Great Gatsby from 74, and Soul Keeper in 01.
Iconic.
Yes.
But as Chad watches Julie walk toward the building, he admits that he just got the weirdest idea. He wonders what she looks like under all those clothes. Eddie is appalled. Eldridge? Are you kidding? But Chad is not kidding. He says that it's like the idea just jumped into his head.
Interesting.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
I know we're short on time, but we're really just diving into
Yes.
this.
Yeah.
Yes. I wanted to talk, obviously, about Karen Black's involvement in this. She was not interested whatsoever in doing Trilogy of Terror at all.
Wow.
She said that her manager insisted that she do it, and after she refused several times, he showed up at her house. He pulled out a chair and sat in her living room, declaring that he was not leaving until she heard him out. Karen Black said that she was just not interested in typecasting herself as a horror actor, which is exactly what would happen when she eventually did the film and then would go on to collaborate with Curtis directly after in Burnt Offerings. She accepted her status in horror reluctantly because what she was afraid of happening instantly happened.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's crazy. I just, from my perspective, like how people can view things so differently that you would not want that.
Yeah.
Like, it's just mind-boggling to me. But back to this persistent manager. He stayed there sitting in her living room until 4 a.m. when Karen Black finally relented. But she had one condition. Her husband at the time really wanted to be an actor. So she would do Trilogy of Terror if her husband, Robert Skip Burton, could play the lead in the first story.
Okay.
So her manager's like, yeah, I can make that happen. Karen Black and Burton did end up separating by her estimation about a year after this film came out, though. Her next husband, who we have talked about, was L.M. Kit Carson, who wrote Texas Chainsaw 2.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. But they were married for about 8 years after she divorced Burton. I thought that was insane.
Yeah.
But it is wild watching this, knowing that these two were married at the time.
Yeah.
You know? And I did hunt down, shout out to my mom for having the book that contained
The story.
this one. Yeah, because there's 3 and I had to do some legwork to find the other 2. But Julie is a student in the story. She's another student. She's not the teacher.
Interesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like that, I don't know, there's something about this dynamic that makes it more, there's something more to it through the TV film.
I think it
Yeah.
fits for sure. Yeah. We cut to a classroom where as Julie writes on the chalkboard with her back to the students, we get text on screen in yellow. Story 1, Julie. Again, the teleplay was adapted by William F. Nolan based on Richard Matheson's short story, The Likeness of Julie.
That's a great title.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is. Julie draws a triangle on the board and labels the sides in cursive. She turns to the class, explaining that this is a literary triangle. She asks if anyone can tell her why Fitzgerald's name is on the bottom. And it's funny, Nolan had said on the commentary that these 3 authors' names were used just because that's who he was reading at the time of writing.
So there's no real significance.
No. Chad raises his hand and offers an educated and insightful answer, citing that Fitzgerald's work of the 1920s formed the base for the extended realism of both Hemingway and Faulkner. When Julie tells him that he's quite correct, he shoots a smug look at Eddie, who sits behind him in the next row.
Firstly, it's very interesting that it's Fitzgerald and she would go on to be in The Great Gatsby.
You're right.
Yeah.
But I really thought that it was going to be like Simpsons when Bart was trying to be a good student and every question he was getting it wrong. I was surprised to see that he was so astute considering how much of a fucking asshole he was
Yes.
in the quad. I
Yeah.
didn't think he would be smart at all.
Julie reasons that while she'd like to amplify this aspect of the conversation, the clock is telling her that class is almost up. She half sits on her desk, and the position of her leg has pulled up her skirt, revealing her pantyhose-clad thigh. Chad focuses on this, and as Julie gives the assignment for tomorrow, he gets flashes in his mind of Julie lying in a bed, her eyes closed, her long hair unbound and loose against the pillow. In his fantasy, he stands at the door, locking it with his shirt unbuttoned before joining Julie on the bed, burying his face in her neck and planting kisses there and on her chest. When Julie dismisses the class, Chad snaps back to reality. He stays at his desk while the rest of the students gather their things and depart.
Well, he can't stand
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
I was waiting on what
He
he...
needs a second.
He's like, she has never sat like that before.
Yeah, I was going to say.
No way.
He fiddles with his book as he watches Julie intently, collecting her own books and leaving the classroom. And once she's gone, he hurries out behind her.
So is this the end of the day or she's changing classes too?
Huh,
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it looks like the day was just starting.
Yeah. That,
Well, this was kind of the shortest class ever because she's like, in the first thing that we're going to talk about today, and we are out of time.
you just drew a triangle.
Yeah.
Chad honestly taught us more than you did.
Yeah.
But one of her books slides off the stack in her arms and it hits the floor with a slap. Chad quickly scoops it up and returns it to her. Julie thanks him curtly, and Chad observes that she sure carries a lot of books. Not giving him anything to work with, Julie's like, yes. Addressing her by Ms. Eldridge, Chad asks if she goes to the movies much. Julie says that she does sometimes, but not often. But Chad does. He says that he goes a lot, but he tends to think in pictures because his hobby is photography. Julie says flatly that that's very interesting. Just as Chad begins that he was thinking they could, Julie cuts him off. It was nice talking with him, but she does have another class. I guess she was moving.
Yeah.
I think maybe this is when she was still a student.
Oh.
Because this
okay.
makes no sense for her
Yeah.
as a teacher. But anyway, she turns and walks away, leaving Chad to call after her. See ya! He's still watching Julie walk down the hall when Eddie joins him, realizing that Chad is really serious about this. He advises him to forget it, though. Don't go messing around with teachers. Chad is like, oh, really? I didn't know that. He walks away, leaving Eddie behind.
Come on, man.
It's Eddie's like, that was quad talk. We didn't mean.
Yeah.
Like, we're just
We're
having
in the
fun.
building.
Yeah. It's like, you can get a lot of trouble for something like that.
His grades are going to start slipping. And
Yeah,
stuff.
it's a gateway.
I was surprised, honestly, with Eddie's reaction to it all because he really is. He's like, that's an ethics violation.
And he's right.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
completely right.
Well, I mean, again, like you said, even if he's an asshole, he's probably keeping up with his grades. You're going to fuck up. You know, come on.
Yeah, I mean, it's wrong on every level.
It is.
Yeah, yeah.
But at home, Julie sits at a table, still poring over her books and taking notes. Ann Richards, no, not the former governor of Texas and ex-girlfriend of Bill Dauterive, but Julie's roommate, played by Catherine Reynolds, comes in. She stands in the mirror, fixing her hair when she asks if Julie is going to go out tonight. Julie says no, she's got too much to do. Anne walks over, commenting that for the kind of money they pay her, she puts in an awful lot of hours. Still looking down at her work, Julie agrees that that's true, but Anne broaches the next subject carefully. Steve has a friend. He's a very nice guy. At this, Julie finally looks up and she grins when Anne insists that she can't just stay home every day. She's got to go out sometimes too. But Julie assures her that she's all right. She doesn't need Anne to worry about her. Anne shakes her head, realizing that the problem with Julie is that she just doesn't give herself a chance. If she worked at it just a little, she'd be really attractive.
That's wild.
I know.
To talk to your teacher, or is this
No, it's a
another
friend.
teacher?
Yeah, I
but
think
that's what
Oh.
I'm saying. I don't know. This works better if we're students.
It does, because this could be like they're rooming together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that was her roommate. This isn't her apartment?
It is, but you would think like dorms are like, you should go out. Like if you worked on your, like if
Yeah,
it
yeah.
sounds like young.
It sounds like she's all that.
Yeah,
No, it
yeah,
But
but it's teen again,
Yeah.
or younger.
yeah.
Take off your glasses and let
Yes.
down your hair. Damn it.
It is funny, though, the more that we get into this segment, because I had not thought about it before because I didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
But there was, it seems, very little changed from
Yeah.
Matheson's to Nolan's draft.
Yeah,
Yeah.
When there is so much that is so indicative of a student talking to another student.
yeah.
I didn't think about that until John Paul was like, is she moving classes too? And it's like, wait, why is she moving classes
Well,
too?
it was that, and that's what I'm saying. Like, you see a lot of the stuff that they do, and you just kind of forgive it when you're watching the movie.
Yeah.
But when you really do think about it, that's your classroom.
Well,
Why are you
and the
leaving?
added context of who Julie was originally,
Right.
you know?
And then here, this dialogue, it's fine, we're friends, but I'm a teacher.
Mm-hmm.
What do you
You fill in your own blanks to make it make sense.
Yeah.
Right. But after a pause, Julie ends the conversation, telling Anne to have a nice time tonight. Anne accepts this and tells Julie goodnight on her way out. But outside, Chad is lurking about, creeping up to the window of Julie's house. Julie finishes her work and gets up from her table in her long, modest white nightgown. As she starts to leave the room, she unpins her hair. Chad is still wandering around outside the house, trying to get a good view through the windows. And when Julie stands in front of one and starts to brush out her hair, Chad is watching. Julie pauses for a moment, turning her back to us as she slowly slips her nightgown off. Chad stares at this, unblinking, raising trembling fingers to his lips. Hello, 911. The escalation is fucking insane.
Yeah.
It was bad enough when it's just like you're a student trying to date your teacher.
Yeah.
Because it's just like the ethics of that. It's not good.
No.
But what the hell is this? This is beyond what he's already overstepped in a way that I did not predict.
It's
Yeah.
so severe. Like from one scene to the next of him being like, hey, you see movies or whatever. And now he's fucking
Unannounced.
Joe Goldberg or whatever. Like, it's too much.
Yeah.
It's too much. Chad needs to be watched.
Yes.
He needs to be secluded. Take it
Yeah.
away.
And there's also the fact of like he has to know where she lives.
Yeah.
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 That's creepy
No,
as hell.
there's a lot of very concerning pieces to this. The next day, Julie and Chad exit the building together, and when Julie mentions a rape scene that Faulkner wrote, she decides that she prefers Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald only suggests violence. But Chad counters that Faulkner's just telling it like it is. Some people lead perverted lives, and they prefer violence. Speaking of perversion, he mentions a wonderful little vampire flick that's playing down at the Village Drive-In on Friday. He says that it's a classic, French with English subtitles. He asks if she'll go see it with him for reasons of cultural expansion. Julie takes a moment to answer. She thanks Chad, but she reminds him that teachers aren't allowed to date students. But Chad questions, who will find out? We are speaking at full volume in the quad with everybody walking by.
Everyone's like, are they setting up a date?
He presses a finger to his lips, sealing their secret. He won't tell. But Julie doesn't understand. Why would he want to date her when he has his pick of all these lovely co-eds? Chad declares that he prefers maturity in a woman. All the others are just a bunch of kids. As these purported kids walk around to get to their classes, Julie thinks it over. But come Friday, she's still next to Chad in his car at the drive-in, staring with wonder up at the vampire on the screen. And this is the Night Stalker Their collaboration
okay.
from, I think, 72.
Yeah.
It was very funny how it is pasted there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that worked?
I guess. It's, yeah.
She gasps in horror when the fiend snatches a woman by her throat off the street. And when Chad leans in close to kiss her, she gasps again, startled by him. He notices that she looks like she could use a drink, and Julie agrees that she guesses she could. She admits that it's ridiculous, but these kinds of things always upset her. Chad offers to get her popcorn too, but Julie couldn't eat anything. A drink will be just fine. Chad gets out of the car, not bothering to ask what she wants, and heads to the concession stand where he orders 2 large root beers, easy on the ice. And for these, he pays a whopping $1.
Ooh.
Yeah.
There are a couple of price tags in this movie that hurt.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there's so many sodas, like root beer is pretty divisive, I think.
It's an interesting choice.
Yeah.
For him to not even be like, you like root beer? Like anything?
Well,
Like, you didn't give me a Coke?
Root beer-
Yeah, he said root beer is
I love root
delicious,
beer.
but not everybody does.
I will
That's
say,
true, yeah.
if they are going to be 50 cents a piece, the concession stand is fucking him on the size because those are not large root beers.
no, I thought.
Like, let's be real.
The guy behind the counter hands over Chad's drinks, and he walks back out into the night with one in each hand. But he pauses for just a moment, going to the side of the building instead of back to the car. He sets the drinks down on top of a folded ladder and reaches for something in his pocket. The score grows ominous as he pours white powder into one of the root beers and gives it a good stir with the straw. My jaw dropped. I
Yeah.
remember when we had rewatched this, whenever it was, I couldn't believe my eyes. I couldn't believe that this was happening.
His name's Chad.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
But I truly was floored. And for this being the fucking movie of the week on ABC in 1975, and where we go from this,
Yeah.
I truly I'm very surprised.
What's wild to me is that the other countries that
the dolls
censor, they're like, we can't show a doll this, though. It's like, holy shit.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I could not believe it.
Before we press on, you did mention the score.
Yes.
I love the score of this made-for-TV film.
Mm-hmm.
It is so mysterious, so ominous. I think in each segment, it plays the perfect role of what is needed.
Oh, yeah.
The composer was a guy called Bob Cobert, and in keeping with a lot of Dan Curtis's crew doing a bunch of different things on this project, he worked, get this, on 1,225 episodes of Dark Shadows.
Damn. Okay.
Soap operas are just...
Yeah.
They're insane,
Yeah.
dude. When Chad gets back into the car, he opens the door and hands Julie her cup. She takes it with gratitude and immediately starts to drink. Just out of focus, Chad settles behind the wheel, eyeing her as she sips through the straw. She grimaces, commenting that it's bitter, and Chad agrees that his is too. They must not be using enough syrup. You fucking piece of
Yeah, I
shit,
know.
dude. Julie takes another drink, but when she notices that Chad is still staring at her, she turns to him. She asks what's wrong. Doesn't he like the movie? Chad says sure he does. It's just that he likes her better. Julie allows herself a small giggle before turning back to face the screen. Chad, though, does not take his eyes off of her. He's watching deviously as Julie starts to nod off. She catches herself, sitting back up straight. He asks what's wrong, and she admits that she doesn't know. He wonders if she should get out and get some fresh air, but Julie's eyes are already rolling back in her head, and after a short moment, her head lolls forward. She's out. Chad reaches over and catches her before she hits the door. He lifts her head and looks at her face, and we immediately cut to Chad pulling up to a motel with Julie asleep in the passenger seat. Jaw's already dropped. It's on the floor now. It's dislocated.
Yeah.
This is so disgusting. Like I could not believe this.
It is that like you were saying a second ago. You cut the third one.
Yeah.
Where
That one's too disturbing.
yeah.
I just could not believe how dark this one starts.
Mm-hmm.
I know that we take it different places, but I couldn't believe.
Yeah.
And then learning that it was a TV movie. I really couldn't believe that
Yeah.
whatever. But Mark leaves Julie in the car when he heads inside. The motel clerk, played by Orrin Cannon, stands behind the desk, reading the paper, and when Chad enters, he asks how he can help him. Chad says that he needs a room for him and his wife, Mr. and Mrs. Jonathan Harker.
Really?
I guess.
Yeah.
I was like, Chad, shut the fuck up. The clerk asks if he has any bags, and a little offended, Chad says that he does have baggage. The clerk which he's right.
Yes.
The clerk informs him that it'll be $15 in advance.
Damn. And that's what a bottle of water costs in the little lobby store now there?
Yeah.
Right.
It's like
No.
12, 15 bucks, something like that. That's crazy.
Chad reaches into his pocket and peels off the cash. He hands it over, and the clerk tells him dryly to fill out the card. In the motel room, Chad stands, taking pictures next to a light that bathes him in its red glow, technically making Trilogy of Terror 1975 a giallo film. And it's crazy growing up with something and not even realizing that. Like, I've been loving giallo since I was just a wee child.
I was going to say, but that explains why you really like
a
it, T.
tastemaker.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say.
You're overcome with joy.
I really
Yeah,
don't.
I think you're right.
I know that's not it. It's something else. Something meaner.
But Chad snaps photos of Julie, who lies on the bed, just like he'd imagined, sleeping in her white silken blouse, her hair loose and spread across the pillow.
Before we get to something absolutely horrible and horrific, this is one of my biggest pet peeves of like anything, is when somebody has a dream or a fantasy or an idea and it's literally just footage that we haven't seen yet. It's so, I understand the ease of doing it,
Right.
but it's so lazy.
Yeah.
Like, we're in the same outfit.
Yeah, everything is exactly the same. And it's like a spoiler, less, you know.
Yeah, that's fair. Finally, Chad lowers the camera and locks the room door. He takes off his coat and he's unbuttoning his shirt when he joins Julie on the bed. As he lowers himself to her, it fades to black. Later, Julie is asleep in the passenger seat as Chad drives. Her glasses are back on and her hair is pinned back up, although not in the same way. She doesn't wake up until Chad stops the car. She looks around, confused and disoriented, and she asks, "What time is it?" Chad says that it's late and they're home. He chuckles that she must have been really tired. Julie doesn't understand how she could have fallen asleep. When Chad confirms that that's what happened, she apologizes. That's never happened to her before. But Chad's the one that's sorry for taking her to such a boring picture. Julie reminds him that she did warn him that she wouldn't be a very exciting date. But Chad tells her to forget it. He decided to just let her sleep. With all the work she does, he'd figured she'd need the rest. But Julie says sadly that she still feels like she spoiled his evening. But Chad shakes his head. She didn't. He had a fine time. I am just waiting for him to die at this point.
Yeah.
No joke. My note right at this point is, I hope he dies a terrible death.
Yes. Chad walks Julie back up to the door where she apologizes again. He says that they agreed to forget about that, and Julie acknowledges that they did. She instead thanks him for a very good time. Chad leans against her house and asks if he can call her tomorrow, but Julie doesn't think so. Chad's like, "Why not?" Julie reminds him that it was foolish of them to go out tonight. She could get fired and he could be expelled. But Chad asserts that no board of trustees is going to tell him who he can see and who he can't. Chad does what Chad wants.
Shut the fuck up, Chad.
Literally.
And isn't it kind of gross that he's researched who would be responsible for such decisions?
He's like, oh shit, are we going to get in trouble? Julie insists that she must be firm about this. They cannot go out again. Chad looks at her coldly before declaring, "We'll see." He tells her ominously, "Good night, Julie." He walks away, leaving Julie on her porch to look after him in silence. We'll see?
Yeah, I don't think a threat's the way to go.
No!
Like that.
Good Lord.
I told you no. Like that's it.
That shouldn't.
Yeah.
In true Giallo fashion,
All
we
right.
find Chad in a red room developing his pictures. His smirk turns into a smile as he looks down on the photographs he took. Julie is woken by the ringing of a phone. When she answers it sleepily, Chad reports, "It's me, Chad." Looking over at the clock, Julie points out that it's not even 8 o'clock, but Chad insists that he wants to see her. Julie reminds him that she told him last night it wasn't going to happen, but Chad interrupts, snapping at her to get dressed because he's coming over there right now, and they're going to go on a little drive together. Julie tells him sternly, absolutely not. She asks what's the matter with him because she doesn't find this at all amusing, but Chad replies coldly, "It's not meant to be." Still, Julie goes for a ride with him later. Cutting to them in the car was a jump scare.
Yeah.
No shit.
When he parks the car, she asks if he's going to tell her now why he's been behaving this way. Wordlessly, Chad reaches into the glove box and pulls out a large manila envelope. He hands it to Julie, who opens it up and pulls out the photos from the inside. Chad smirks as she looks them over, her breath quickening in her horror. When she looks up at him in shock, he asks, "Oh, didn't I tell you? My hobby is photography." Julie realizes now. He drugged her last night, didn't he? She takes another look at the photos before slamming them down and pleading. How could he do something this sick? But Chad counters that he thinks they came out rather well. Doesn't she? Oh, and she can keep those because he's got the negatives.
I know we'll meet another monster within this trilogy, but this is the worst of all.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am sitting here like, what the fuck is happening?
No, it's like evil. Yeah. What the fuck is happening is that sums it up. Julie turns them over in her lap, hiding them behind the manila envelope. She warns Chad that she'll tell the police, but he doesn't think that she will. Firstly, she has no proof that he drugged her. He'll deny it and then offer the photos as his own proof. We press in on Julie's defeated face as Chad turns it around on her. He'll tell the police that she seduced him because she has a thing for students. With nothing to say, Julie turns her head. Chad reasons that he's sure she doesn't want the police or anyone else to see those photos. Beaten down, Julie accepts his words as fact. She asks him what he wants from her, and a sick smile spreads across Chad's lips. Back in the classroom, Julie is writing on the board again, describing the literary expression provided by Hemingway, Faulkner, and Steinbeck. Chad tucks a note inside a book, gets out of his seat, and walks to the front of the room. Julie turns around and Chad locks eyes with her as he puts the book on her desk and quietly returns to his seat. She continues her lesson when she pulls the note from the book and holds it for herself and us to read. After class, you are to come directly to my apartment. I've got some friends I want you to meet. See.
We know it's Chad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Firstly, horrible and
Yes!
just terrible what he's doing.
Yes.
Yeah.
But maybe read that note after class because everybody's watching you. Everybody
No, they
saw
saw
this
everything.
whole thing.
Yeah.
All of it.
Like, why is Chad writing her a letter and she's reading it? I wonder what's going on between them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's evidence too.
Yes.
Like that's okay. Let's call the cops. Whatever. I got you wrote me a note and gave it to me in class.
In
Yeah.
the middle with everyone here.
Yeah. Because what has she done? She went to a movie with him, which is still inappropriate.
It's inappropriate,
Right.
but she has done nothing wrong.
Yeah.
Right. This stops Julie in her tracks and she grimaces. The students exchange curious looks as Julie tries to continue, but she cuts herself off to announce in a wavering voice that class is dismissed. When no one moves, she says it again, firmer. Everyone gathers their things and leaves, except for Chad, who sits at his desk watching her. That night, when Julie returns home, she finds Anne awake as she passes her room. When she asks what she's doing up, Anne asks if Julie knows what time it is. When Julie nods sadly, Anne asks her to please tell her what's going on. Julie says that it's nothing, but Anne counters that she didn't stay up all night to get that kind of an answer. She's worried about her. It's been this way for a month now. Julie looks down, fiddling nervously with her purse as she whispers that she knows. Anne implores her to tell her what's going on. This isn't like her at all. But Julie says that she can't really talk about it. She leaves the room to go to bed, and Anne reluctantly lays back down. Watching her lay back down, she's like, well, I guess I do gotta go to bed.
Yeah.
It's just sad because she waited up all night because she's scared for her friend.
Yeah.
Chad leaves the dark room of his apartment, the red light glowing behind him when he steps out with his shirt open. He puts a tape in the cassette player, and as piano fills the room, we pan to find Julie sitting on the couch. She wears a blue robe and has her hair down. Julie gets up and makes a drink for Chad and for herself, and after handing him his, she walks over to the tape player carrying her own. Without a word, she shuts it off and the music stops. Chad snaps at her that he wants that on, but Julie counters coolly that she wants it off. Chad wonders, since when does what she wants count? And Julie says, since now, tonight, this second. She says that it's all over. Chad asserts that nothing is over until he says it is, but Julie doesn't think so. She's bored, and when she's bored, the game is over. Chad scoffs at this. Bored? But Julie sips her drink. Yes, bored. Not terrified, not shocked, just plain bored. Chad gapes at her, but Julie isn't done. She asks him, whose idea did he think this whole thing was? Incredulously, Chad asks what she's talking about, so she explains. He is a singularly unimaginative young man. Chad chuckles, but he stops when Julie asks if he really thought that dull little mind of his could possibly have conceived any of the rather dramatic experiences they've shared. Julie asks if he remembers the day that he saw her walk up the steps. Ever since that moment, his mind has not been his own. Chad looks at her in surprise. She asks why he thinks he suddenly had the overwhelming desire to see what she looks like under all those clothes. Chad's bottom lip begins to quiver. But Julie tells him not to feel bad. She always gets bored after a while. Although there was one boy in Denver who did keep her amused for nearly 9 weeks. Chad's lips are still trembling when his tongue juts out between them and he starts to choke. Julie sits down with her drink, grinning that the boy in Denver was wonderfully creative. Chad sits forward on the couch, coughing as he chokes, trying to suck in air. Julie's smile drops and she gets down to the facts. First, he's going to experience dizziness, then a mild paralysis, and then total cardiac arrest. Chad croaks that she drugged him, but Julie corrects him. No, dear, I've killed you.
Iconic.
So good. It's so good.
That's great work.
The score is like dun, dun, dun. As Chad stares up at her in fear, he screams and tries to lurch for her, only to fall flat on his face on the floor. Julie retires to the dark room and sets the developing photographs on fire. She stands, bathed in red, the flame reflected in the lenses of her glasses, as she quips that she told Chad about those chemicals, how dangerous they can be. We linger on the flames as Julie leaves the room. Now, we've already alluded to a pretty obvious twist in the second story, but this...
No,
this was so well done.
Yeah.
And the, turn of victim and, monster, because Chad didn't do any of that. He wasn't, he wasn't that dude that did shit like this.
It is crazy. I had no idea that was coming.
No.
When it did, I was like, you did this?
Yeah.
I've got a lot of kinks, but god damn. Well, I'm old, the bones crack, when I walk or whatever. But,
that's what he means.
Yes, yeah. There you go. There you go. But what the fuck?
I have to be honest, that twist saves the segment.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it's like, what the fuck is going on?
It's rough. It's rough.
I think the only other thing that could make it cooler is if Governor Ann Richards had also been
Oh,
a
yes.
Her concern in when you recontextualize it is more just a matter of how long it's been going on.
Right.
Okay.
Like it's a coven or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But even
That would've
outside
been
of
great.
this is a really cool
It's
twist.
so
Yes.
good. It's so good. And it does recontextualize everything. How he did look entranced when he was staring outside her window. Like this dude, all of his fucking disgusting actions, you look at them again and you're like, oh, he wasn't in control at all.
Yeah.
He wasn't doing any of that.
And even whenever they're sitting in the quad, he said something like, it's just a thought.
Yeah.
Yeah. 'Cause
Like,
he was
it just-
like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's good.
It's really fucking good. It's really, really good.
And the likeness of Julie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's excellent. Back at their house, Anne stands by with sympathy. She asks, he was one of your favorite students, wasn't he? Julie sits with the newspaper in her lap. She fights her tears when she confirms that he was. Such a wonderfully bright and spirited boy. Fiddling with the tissues in her hand, she says that she warned Chad about those chemicals, how dangerous they can be. Anne asks if she's sure she's okay. She offers to skip work and stay here with her, but Julie insists that she go. She'll be fine. She sniffles and wipes away her tears as Anne leaves, but as soon as she's alone, her lips twitch upward in a small, wicked smile. She goes to the scrapbook where other newspaper articles are pasted, their titles including Mystery Death of Student Shocks College, Body Found at Base of Cliff, Hunter College Boy Drowns in Lake.
She threw a dude off a cliff.
Yeah. God damn.
She's mixing it up. She's mixing it up.
Chad got lucky.
Yeah.
I guess.
Beneath this one, she lays the article from today's newspaper with Chad's smiling photo under it. Student dies in fire.
Just right to the point with that headline.
She looks down with pleasure and pride at her collection and tapes Chad's story in place. When there's a knock at the door, she closes her scrapbook and hides it away in a drawer before going to answer. Standing on her porch is Arthur Moore, played by Gregory Harrison.
Gregory Harrison. He was in 11 episodes of One Tree Hill from 09 to 11. 147 episodes of General Hospital.
Again with General Hospital?
I know. And he was in Air Bud Golden Receiver in 98.
Golden
Receiver?
Yeah.
That's great.
That's great, right?
That's great work.
He introduces himself, explaining that he saw her notice on the board. Julie understands. And you need help? Arthur smiles that he does. His lit grades are lousy. He asks Miss Eldridge if she has time for him. Julie smiles sweetly. Of course she does. In fact, they can start right now. Arthur says that would be great. Julie steps aside, letting him into her house. The two lock eyes for a moment, and Julie decides, I think we're going to be friends, Arthur. Arthur smiles at her, obliviously. We watch from outside the door when Julie closes it, adding, very good friends. She closes the door in our face as a low, dramatic score thrums, and we fade to black. She's not going to stop.
No.
She's not going to stop.
She's the bad guy.
Apparently.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
big
Like
time.
Billie Eilish said, the fucking audacity to get right back to it.
Oh, no, yeah.
You haven't even finished pasting the article. And he's just trying to get his grades up. Not the
Yeah.
other
Poor
thing.
guy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
poor fucking guy. It's terrible. She's a monster. This segment is fantastic.
It is.
It's so uncomfortable that you're like, just kind of the rug is pulled out from under you when you find out what's really happening.
Yeah.
Because there is no indication. And on the commentary, she talked about there's a couple times, I think when Chad gets out to get the drinks, and then when they're talking in the car, when for a split second, her face kind of looks like a little bit devious for a second. And she said she just wanted to drop a clue that like she is the one in charge. But when you're watching it, you don't fucking see that at all.
Yeah, no.
But her pointing it out, it's like, oh, I kind of do see that she doesn't look, she looks scared and then she kind of doesn't.
Right.
So it's just very well done. It's really very well done.
So did the short story end similarly or the same way?
Yeah. So like I said, Julie's a student, and the story kind of begins through Chad's point of view in the classroom, and it starts with saying like Chad Foster had never noticed the girl in his math class until that day. And then you go through everything that happens. And then the very last thing at the ending is John Smith had never noticed the girl in his physics class until that day.
Ooh.
So again, she's not
Okay.
She's still going.
Yeah.
Like Julie's not to be stopped in either version. Over a whirring film projector, we get the next title in yellow, Story 2, Millicent and Therese. This teleplay was also written by William F. Nolan based on the Richard Matheson short story, Needle in the Heart. Let me tell you something about Needle in the Heart, okay? This one was the hardest one for me to track down. It is literally like 2.5 pages.
Oh,
Really?
wow.
It's nothing. And so Nolan said that Matheson had told him, like, good luck. like, I don't know how you're going to turn this into a whole segment.
Yeah.
So most of this here, things that we talk about with like family dynamics that even after finishing, I don't really understand.
Mm-hmm.
That's all Nolan. Really just the setup and the twist ending are Matheson because it
Okay.
is so short.
Yeah.
And it's only... there's a little piece at the end that's told like a story, but the rest of it is just diary entries. And it's like 3 or 4 of them. It's so short. So yeah, a lot of this is Nolan, except the twist ending.
Okay.
We pan up from the projector to find the bare face of Millicent, played by Karen Black. From behind her glasses, she watches the screen, where a playing little girl sprints into the waiting arms of her father. He hugs and twirls her around, and the two plant kisses on each other's cheeks. Millicent watches this quietly, her expression cold. Later, she sits at her desk, the edge of her modest dress frilled with lace, and her hair pulled back into a low bun. Karen Black had said after she finally decided to do the movie, the other reason that she was excited about it, other than, acting opposite her husband in the first installment, was that she really wanted to play Millicent.
Oh.
She said that she wore no eye makeup. She had foundation over her lips. She wore glasses that magnified her eyes. She thought that it would be a good 20 years before she was offered to play the role of a spinster, and she was just really excited to do it.
That's cool.
Okay, yeah.
And they were pointing out, it was her and Nolan on the commentary for the first 2 stories, and they pointed out how she acted with her entire body. Like the muscles in her neck would get tight. Her hands would like curl up when because there's another character in this that is, her body language is completely different.
Right.
Mhm.
She just really put everything into these multiple roles that she played. And she plays them all very differently.
And you can feel it as you're watching it.
Yes.
Yeah.
These kinds of exaggerated things that do create such a really good contrast.
Yes.
I will say, whenever this segment started, I thought that the time period was like way
I can totally see that.
in the back.
Yeah.
She's got these penny saved as a penny earned glasses.
Yeah.
And then the projector, it's like, I don't know when the projector was invented. But it could be,
Right.
and her costume.
Yes.
Yeah. I was like, okay, so did you kill too many kids, or like, so now you had to run, so this is a new life?
Yeah. We're moving on.
We're flashing back to the 1890s.
Yeah, so before.
Yeah.
But Millicent writes that the funeral is over and now she's alone in the house while Therese is out cavorting with one of her men, while their father is barely cold in his casket. We press in on her as she continues writing it down, her voice narrating her words, admitting that she was watching old family films to remind herself of where it all began. And even at 12, she was using her wiles on him. Millicent shakes her head, lamenting her poor mother, so weak and so innocent, never suspecting the depth of evil within Therese. She proclaims that her spoiled sister's innocent face never fooled her for an instant. She knew the darkness behind it, the fermenting ugliness of her soul. Millicent pauses in her writing to look up, reflectively, a lone tear sliding down her cheek. And that, according to Karen Black, was an acting choice from her to be crying.
Oh, okay.
Afterwards, she goes to answer the door where Thomas Anmar, played by John Carlin, stands waiting.
John Carlin. He was in 179 episodes of Dark Shadows.
There you go.
Native Son from 86, and Surf Ninjas from 93.
Okay.
Yeah.
A little bit of everything.
Yeah. This character is completely invented for the film. There's no mention of an Anmar. It's just not in the story at all. And Nolan said that he created Anmar's name from his mother's name, Mariana. And just like smushed them together. I thought that was cute. Millicent invites him inside, and Thomas steps into the house, eyeing her. As she closes the door, Millicent chuckles that she knows what he must be thinking. Leading him further into the house, she gives voice to his unasked question. How can sisters look so unalike? She turns to him, asserting that she's never found it necessary to affect the ways of Therese. She invites Thomas to sit down, but instead of doing so, he wonders, is Therese here? Millicent sits, breaking the news that she's not. She's gone to a party. Thomas is surprised. She seemed so distraught this afternoon at the funeral. But Millicent explains that her sister is an unusual girl, and she truly doubts that Thomas could understand her. That's why she called him here. Confused, Thomas asks what she means, and in response, Millicent stands, taking a framed photograph from the shelf and bringing it over to Thomas. She tells him that the picture is of Therese and their father. She says that Therese was 15 then, and just look at the way she's pressing herself against him. Thomas is looking at her instead of the picture, though, his brow furrowed. He steps away, admitting that he doesn't understand. So Millicent puts it simply, my sister is evil, Mr. Anmar, and she thinks that he should know that. She says that Therese was cunning and vicious, even as a child, but their father worshipped her, and she him. She says that when Therese was 16, she seduced him. Angry, Thomas says that he sees what Millicent is trying to do, and he doesn't want to hear any more of it. But Millicent isn't done. Not long after that, their mother died. The doctor said it was an accident, that she'd taken an overdose of sleeping pills. But Millicent is positive that it was no accident. It was Therese. She put those extra pills in their mother's milk. Thomas reasons that if this were true, how could Millicent live in the same house while they were doing this? But Millicent explains that she had nowhere else to go. She had no money and no way to earn any either. She had no escape.
She was also a child.
Yeah. All of this is really fucked up. And that's why I was searching so hard for the short story, because I wanted some more context to this. And this is all invented for the film. Huh. All of this with the father, the story of the childhood, all of it.
Yeah.
And I think that you could view it as cheap or you could view it as clever, because it is leaving the audience to fill in the gaps once we find out what's really happening here, of maybe why this happened.
Okay.
But we can't talk about that yet. Millicent sets the picture on the desk face down. She continues that she kept to herself as much as possible and tried to avoid her sister. She tried to ignore what was happening in this house. She turns to face Thomas, realizing, you don't believe me, do you? But Thomas steps forward, answering honestly that he doesn't know what to say. Millicent walks over to the shelves on the wall, stuffed with books. She says that these show what Therese is. She points. Demonology, pornography, Satanism, voodoo, witchcraft. I mean, where's the problem?
Yeah, I was going to say that all sounds pretty cool. What are you talking about?
The other stuff was terrible, but this was... And she just has books of pornography just on the shelf?
Yeah, it's just there.
Yes. She rips one from the shelf and opens it, her wavering voice raising when she declares that these books aren't just relics. She uses them to capture the souls of others. Gripping the book, she pleads that Therese herself has admitted that Satan guides her. Thomas's jaw firmly set. He says that she can't really expect him to believe this. Can she? Millicent implores that he must believe her. Beginning to cry, she admits that Therese's soul is damned and she can't help her, but she can help Thomas. Thomas steps forward and places his hands over Millicent's, telling her gently that he's afraid she's the one that needs help. Not helping her own case, Millicent laughs at this and scoffs. She yells how naive Thomas is. She steps away, asking if he really thinks Therese cares for him. She lies to him. She laughs at him. Thomas decides that he really must be leaving now. He turns abruptly, heading for the front door, but he stops when Millicent reveals that she knows all about that night at Morley and what happened there. Thomas turns slowly to face her, his toughness fading when he questions. She told you about that? But Millicent says that she did. Therese told her everything. She gloated and bragged about how she was able to corrupt Thomas. She says that her sister enjoys inflicting pain, and apparently she was able to convince Thomas to share in that perversion. Thomas closes his eyes, shamed, and he swallows. Millicent asks, "Now do you believe me?" Thomas begins to cry as he nods his head, and Millicent proclaims that this means Thomas is saved. She has freed him from evil. What the fuck happened at the Morley?
Yeah.
Did you kill somebody?
What happened?
It's like she convinced him to inflict pain on somebody.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what the fuck did you do?
I don't know.
That again is why I was so desperately searching for this story, because what happened? What is Therese getting up to?
Mm-hmm.
What was Thomas a part of?
Because it seemed more like it was just a matter of a seduction.
Right.
Yeah.
That she is doing this with a lot of men. She is breaking this dude's heart or
Yeah.
something.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, no, you were a part of something.
What are y'all doing?
Huh.
And it's nothing.
And it's enough for him to break down in tears.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this is only for the movie, and this is all we get. There's no further. I want to know what happened at the Morley.
Mr. Anmar, he leaves the country, I think, after this.
He quit straight to the airport.
Yeah, he's like, they don't have extradition and wherever.
I was gonna say more control.
Right.
Yeah, I just want to know what happened.
Yeah.
I just want to know what happened. That night, hunched over the desk, Millicent writes in her journal again, revealing that today, when she was out shopping, Therese violated her room in an insane act of revenge. And when she got back home, Therese raged at her, cursing at her for revealing the truth to Thomas. She writes that Therese is getting more violent every day, and it's like their father's death has released the demons within her. She might actually fear for her life. Dr. Chester Ramsey, played by George Gaines, sits in his office, working when the phone rings.
George Gaines, he was on 111 episodes of General Hospital.
Again.
Yes. 88 episodes of Punky Brewster.
Oh.
He was also in Tootsie from 82.
Hey.
And where I know this man from, he is part of the Police Academy series 1 through 6. I don't know if there's a 7th one, but he's in every movie.
Wow.
Oh.
Yeah.
He looks like one of those actors that you've definitely seen somewhere.
Yeah.
He seems kind of like the perfect person to play like the straight man to a lot of absurdity going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I could absolutely see him in those.
Oh, yeah.
He answers the phone to find Millicent on the other end. She brings up Therese, sharing that she's gotten much worse. But Ramsey thought that they'd already settled this. Millicent was going to see about Therese. But Millicent pleads. She says, "You wouldn't believe the things she's been saying about me, about us." Ramsey's like, us? And Millicent shares that Therese is jealous of their relationship. She's twisted it into something lewd and sordid. Ramsey says that he has a hospital call in her area tomorrow. He offers to come by to talk about this. Millicent thanks the doctor and hangs up the phone.
Look.
It's an interesting addition to the
Yeah.
It is.
Like, she knows a doctor and
They're friends.
I'll keep my note to myself
Okay.
for right now.
interesting.
Yes.
The next day, Dr. Ramsey arrives and rings the doorbell. He turns his back on the door while he waits for it to open. And when it does, he turns back around. But the easy smile falls from his face. Standing there in a bright red skirt, white tank top, a full beat of makeup, and long blonde hair, strikingly contrasting her sister in every way, is Therese, played by Karen Black.
You know what this put me in the mind of?
What?
Do you know when you're watching American Dad and you hear of some strange character, and it's like, this is going to be a very interesting character, definitely played by Roger Smith.
Yes.
And when we get here, it's going to be Karen Black.
Yeah, no.
Of course it's going to be Karen
Roy
Black.
Rogers McFeely.
Exactly. It's like, it has to be.
It's like, we know what you took that shit on.
It's Ricky Spanish.
Yeah.
She smiles, her voice lighter and breathier when she invites the doctor inside. He goes and she strides behind him in white pumps. When he stops in the living room, she offers something to drink, but Ramsey declines. Therese giggles. Of course not. She saunters over to the couch, assuming that the doctor is here on his usual mission. She knows all about what dear little Millicent told him on the phone. She sits, fanning out her blonde hair and putting her arms behind her head, admitting that she was listening on the extension in her room.
It's convenient.
Yeah.
The doctor is like, I see. Therese pats the seat next to her, her nails painted a bright red, coaxing the doctor to come and sit. He does, and she guesses that this was just a wasted visit because she knows Millicent won't talk about her while she's in the house. And here she is. Ramsey considers this for a moment before asking if Therese destroyed her sister's room. Therese immediately confesses that she did, and why shouldn't she? Millicent deserved it. She picks up a cigarette and stands, muttering, where does she get off thinking she can stick her nose into my affairs? She lights her cigarette, sucks in a drag, and looks up at the doctor with a grin. She tells him not to worry. She's sure she's got it all straightened up by now in her proper little housekeeper's manner. She sits on the arm of the couch, leaning into Ramsey when he declares that this hatred has got to stop. She's going to destroy herself. But Therese disagrees. And besides, it's really all Millicent has. Her hatred of Therese is the only passion in her lonely, pathetic little existence. We press in on Therese's face as she smiles at the doctor, breathing that he's really a very handsome man. She sits next to him on the couch, reaching for his tie as she adds, if he would just loosen up a little. Ramsey pulls away from her and she offers a playful apology before asking, do I make you nervous, doctor?
This was funny because the whole time, all I could hear was Jennifer Coolidge. And I was like, God damn. I was like, and once my mind was like, who does she sound like? And it hit. That's all I heard.
Ramsey decides that they don't need to carry this any further. He stands and walks toward the front door, cinching his tie. But Therese stands too. She follows behind and leans onto the doorframe when she teases. What's the matter, Doc? You still a virgin? Ramsey turns at this and Therese saunters over, wondering if it's that he just doesn't like girls. Dr. Ramsey has had enough. He lets himself out of the house, informing her that he'll call again soon. But Therese replies flatly that they don't need him anymore. She follows him to the front door, yelling, why doesn't he just get the hell out of their lives? She shouts not to phone them or call on them. She screeches at him to leave and not ever come back here. Ramsey departs without another word, and Therese slams the front door. She climbs the stairs, setting her sights on Millicent's closed door. She walks over, smacking it with her palms as she yells that Dr. Ramsey is gone. He won't be coming back. She wonders, what do you think of that, dear little sister? And she screams at Millicent, answer me, you creep. But we find Millicent sitting in a chair in her bedroom, bent over the journal in her lap as she writes that she wouldn't answer her or let her in. She stayed silent while her sister raged and swore at her.
So this is a little misleading, but
Yeah.
I feel like you can kind of fill in the blanks in your mind of maybe what this room represents.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But I was like, huh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
She says that Therese finally staggered into her own bedroom and fell into a drunken sleep. We see this, Therese finally giving up on harassing her sister and walking instead to her own bed, sinking into the blue sheets. Millicent's voice continues that she loathes Therese. She can no longer bear having her in this house and watching evil prevail. Something must be done. As Therese slips into sleep, Millicent's stern voice decides emotionlessly, yes, Therese must die. That's one way.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like we were all leaning towards this anyway. From the first scene.
Yeah.
She's angrily watching this footage.
Yeah.
I did want to say something very quickly about this house.
Mm-hmm.
I was very surprised to learn. You had mentioned a few things earlier about how Karen Black has kind of had a hand in a lot of things.
Yeah.
With casting, with a lot of these character decisions to kind of flesh them out a little more.
Yeah.
It appears, at least according to the commentary, that she might have had a hand in this house being selected to film here.
Oh, okay.
Because she had mentioned, I guess, that she had lived across the street from this house. And I guess that the people that lived there were on vacation in Europe.
Yeah.
And so they just took over the house and used it while they were gone. While that's not a word. Whenever. That sounds like an old-fashioned word. We should bring it back.
While
they were gone. And Dan Curtis, apparently, according to Nolan, the screenwriter, they changed like nothing about this house.
Damn.
So the way that it was is just the way that it is.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful interior.
Yes.
And exterior.
Yeah.
But whenever we saw her fall onto the sheets and it's this really bright blue comforter,
Yeah.
I was like, this has to be like, set design or art direction or something. They're like, no, this is just what the house was.
That's really cool.
Well, if they're doing it while they're gone and they don't know, I'm sure they got to leave everything the way it was.
Well, I don't know if they know.
I hope they knew.
I might have been misleading.
Later, Millicent comes outside, determined, with gloves and garden cutters in her hand, but she stops when she hears someone sniffling. Tracy, played by Tracy Curtis, sits sobbing next to a baby carriage with the doll inside. So this is Dan Curtis's daughter.
Aww.
Yeah, very cute. Millicent recognizes the little girl and hurries over, wrapping her arms around her and asking what happened. Tracy wails that her doll is broken. Millicent offers to take a look. She pulls the doll from the stroller to find a gaping hole in its porcelain head. She asks what happened, and Tracy reports through her tears that Millicent's sister did it. Millicent is like, Therese? She asks why, and Tracy details that she was just playing with her dolly when all of a sudden Therese came running out of the house, yelling that she was making too much noise. So she threw her doll to the ground and broke its head. She sobs, I hate her, Miss Millicent. I hate her. Millicent wraps her arms around the crying child and rocks her, promising that the next time she's in town, she's going to buy Tracy a brand new dolly. Tracy looks hopeful. You will? She thanks Millicent sincerely, tears still streaked down her face.
That's wild.
This is wild. This is crazy.
And also when we get to the twist,
Yes. Yeah.
just imagining this scene play out is unbelievable.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
And this little kid's rent was due. She is acting her ass off.
Wow.
Her dad's like, come on.
Yeah.
That night, Millicent writes in her journal, sharing that she was still thinking about Tracy's broken doll when she got back home. It was then that the solution became clear to her. She had at last found the ideal way. She muses how ironic that she would use Therese's own books to destroy her. We see Millicent pulling the book from the shelf, conveniently titled Voodoo Rites and Satanism.
Okay.
It's a one-stop shop. She says that she began collecting the necessary items. We watch as she details these: the cigarette butts from the ashtray, clippings of her long painted nails, strands of her lovely blonde hair abandoned in a brush. She clips rhinestone buttons from what she deems Therese's most lewdly seductive dress. Holding them in her palm, she declares that at last she had all that was required, Therese's life held literally within her hands. She closes the glittery buttons in a tight fist. Dr. Ramsey is examining X-ray results when his phone rings again. It's Millicent on the other end. Ramsey says that he's been trying to reach her since yesterday. He admits that they need to talk because he is terribly worried. Millicent appreciates his concern, but shares that she no longer feels that there is any need to talk. She smiles that things are different now. She's found a way to deal with Therese. Ramsey insists that they talk, but Millicent responds coldly that is all she has to say to him. His advice is no longer required. She tells him goodbye and hangs up the phone. You called me to tell me that shit?
Yeah, what the hell?
I'm very busy.
Yeah.
I was looking at x-rays when you called. I'm a doctor. Millicent unlocks her desk drawer and pulls out a doll and a case. The doll has a sewn-in red line for a mouth and a tuft of Therese's blonde hair atop its head. A green wrap dress is cinched around its fabric body. Millicent opens the silver case to reveal an ornate pin. She takes both the pin and the doll into her hands, and we linger on the open case until everything fades away. Later, in the empty living room, we press in on the phone as it rings incessantly. We find Dr. Ramsey in his office, his phone pressed to his ear as he makes the call with a worried expression. When no one answers, he grabs his coat and dashes out of the room. He goes directly to the sister's house, and after no one answers when he rings the doorbell, he lets himself in through the unlocked back door. He calls out for Millicent as he crosses the threshold into the house. Still, no one answers him. He checks the living room and finds it empty. Finally, he turns his attentions to the staircase.
The music in this section, especially when he's climbing the staircase, beautiful.
Yeah.
I love it so much. It reminds me of something from like a Bava film or something.
Okay.
I can totally see that. Still calling out for Millicent, he climbs the stairs. He looks into her bedroom, empty. Then he goes to Therese's. At first, it appears to be empty as well. But when he goes to the side of the bed, he finds her. Therese, lying sprawled on the floor in her red skirt, her blonde hair beneath her. She lies next to the voodoo doll Millicent made, with the pin sticking defiantly out of its soft chest. Therese is motionless when Dr. Ramsey checks the pulse in her neck. When a conclusion has been reached, he picks up the doll and takes it with him to the phone on the bedside table. He makes a phone call and identifies himself and the address before he reports a death. Female, age 26. You know, by my math, Karen Black was 36 years old, which is a great age. That's currently my age. She looks fabulous. And on the commentary, Nolan was like, how old were you? And she's like, probably about that. Probably closer to 24. Which I'm like, yes, bitch, me too.
She's like, well, I've been told I can play anywhere from.
But he continues. Cause of death? He takes a lingering look at the doll next to him, the pin in its chest, its red smiling mouth, the fingernails fashioned into a necklace, the blonde hair topping its head, and the glittering rhinestone eyes. He reports, cause of death, unknown. The siren of the ambulance wails as the vehicle speeds down the street. Inside, the paramedics start to load Therese's body onto a gurney, but Ramsey rushes in and asks them to wait. He holds a face towel and brings it down to Therese's face to wipe off her red lipstick. Why is John Paul shaking his head?
God, this is
What's wrong?
Come on.
Yeah. Keep going with this grand reveal that none of us predicted from the first scene. Go on.
He shares that he was the family physician and he knew her quite well. Her name was Therese Millicent Larimore. The paramedics look at him questioningly.
They're like, yeah, we know.
Yeah.
We figured that out.
Yeah.
When we got here.
The little girl outside told us.
Yeah, no.
With her face scrubbed clean of makeup now, Dr. Ramsey reaches down and pulls off her blonde wig. He declares, "The most advanced case of dual personality I have ever seen. The supposed sisters, really just one woman, Therese Millicent Larimore, lies on the gurney, dead." What?
Wow.
Yeah, my note when she was on the phone was like, your sister's not real.
So again, all of these things, the family history, the whatever happened with Thomas and all that was all Nolan. And so you're introducing these very heavy themes because I'm inferring whatever horrific thing happened with her father is what caused her to split off.
Right.
And so I'm like, is it cheap to just use something that dark and awful just to sprinkle it in to add some whatever to the second story? Or is it clever because we're supposed to watch it again and be like, oh my God, is that when it happened? Because she's explicitly saying stuff like, I was just pretending like I wasn't there, or like I was pretending like I wasn't in the house with it or whatever. Because that's heartbreaking. It's awful.
Yeah.
And it's just something so dark to have and just kind of leave it there for no further exploration or anything.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
But if it's an element of trauma to provide that source, I think that it is good writing. In the moment when you're just watching that scene, you're like, this just feels like exploitative and superfluous.
Because she's like, she did it. It's like, what? Like, what the hell? And so it does. And I guess it is clever in that way to recontextualize it when you watch it again. Because you're like, oh my God, that is so
sad,
terrible and sad and awful. And so this really is this very tragic fucking tale of like self-loathing and shame and like there's so much here, and it is simultaneously so surface and obvious that this second one is odd. It's just a weird.
It's just a tragic story. It's
horrific.
Where we know it's just her, but it is. We're just watching some bad shit happen.
Yeah, but Millicent is so quote unquote Millicent is so unreliable that you don't know what's real and what's not.
Yeah,
and so I think maybe I would just like a little bit more from the doctor.
Yeah,
maybe when he comes to visit Therese and he, can we talk more about your dad or something? You know what I mean? Something to kind of lend some authenticity to what Millicent was saying. I don't know what I want from this
because
there's something missing here.
I feel like when the doctor's there, he's reacting to Therese in a way that like a medical professional wouldn't.
Right.
And it's like she pisses him off, and so he storms out and leaves. That's how it feels. It doesn't feel like anything of him trying to assist or to help or even understand what's going on.
When you know this, when I almost said Amelia, but we're not there yet.
No, almost.
When Millicent calls, he's like, I thought we were gonna see about Therese. Like I thought we were done with Therese. He does come like, what the fuck? You're a virgin. Like it's like why
fuck
are you?
And then he leaves.
Why are you? I don't feel like
and then
this is very professional.
I feel like, I don't know. To me, unfortunately, I do think this is the weakest of the bunch.
It is.
But that doesn't mean that it's bad.
Right.
I think that it is a really good vehicle for Karen Black.
Yeah.
Yes.
To kind of have fun with this
duality,
roles.
yeah.
Right.
Playing them so differently and so impressively with this massive contrast between them that it does come off very campy.
Yes.
Very fun.
Yes.
Yeah.
Even though it is coming from a pretty dark
It's dark. Yeah.
place.
Yeah.
But again, just like with the first story, I'm surprised at the darkness and the subject matter of these first. We're about to just have a lot of fun with the third one.
Yeah.
But of these first two, I'm like, y'all were really fucking like, it's pretty rough. If you take like kind of divorce yourself from that campiness and the fun and like look at what they're really saying and the stories that are really being told, it's like, God damn.
I think that's what it is. The first one, that the twist paid off at the end. So whatever bad crazy
it's negated
shit,
kind of.
It's kind of like, oh, okay. But here, like I said, it is, you take away the funny whatever or the campiness of it. It is just like, damn, this is kind of just sad to watch.
Yeah.
And when you've predicted it from scene one.
Right.
Yeah. And it's something I didn't even fully like put together until I was writing the script for it. And I was like, because I was like, kind of cringing at like, why is this here and why are we talking about it in this way? I thought it was pretty rough. And then I was like, oh my God, is that what we were?
I think so.
Yeah.
That's pretty rough. But again, it's cleverly written because it's not when she was 16. He's telling the paramedics you don't give a fuck.
Right. Yeah.
It's the end of Psycho.
Yeah. As Amelia, played by Karen Black, walks up to her building, smartly dressed and carrying a trunk, yellow text on screen informs us, Story 3, Amelia. This teleplay was written by Richard Matheson, based off of his own short story, Prey.
Okay.
We pan up the tall apartment building before finding Amelia inside, unlocking her door. A twinkling score concludes as she steps inside and locks it behind her. Inside now, she sets the trunk down on her table and takes a seat on the couch as she opens the lid. She takes out a doll, carved from dark wood, its black hair askew and its deranged eyes wide and wild. Its face is contorted, bearing its sharp white teeth, and it holds a spear in its hand.
Well, my childhood fears have been reignited.
Yes.
This was like the scariest thing in the world to me when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Amelia unfurls the scroll that was packaged with it. This is he who kills. He is a deadly hunter. She mutters, "Boy, are you ugly." But she still grins at it, looking it over before deciding, even your mother wouldn't love you. She twists the spear in its grip, realizing when she touches the tip that it's very sharp.
Why would you say that?
It's mean.
That's crazy.
It's very mean, but I think it also is a reflection of what she's got going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Amelia sets the doll on the table and looks at it, satisfied. She sighs. Arthur is going to love it. But her face darkens when something comes to her mind. Taking a deep breath, she reasons that she better get it over with. Amelia slides to the other end of the couch, picks up her phone, and dials a number. She places a few calls in this segment, and it's the same number over and over and over. Like, if you watch her finger, she's just doing
Really? That's a choice.
Yeah.
It's like 9999 or whatever number it is. I was like, okay. After a pause, she says hello when her mother answers. We only hear Amelia's side of the conversation, but it's safe to assume that she was immediately chastised. And whenever Karen Black, this whole film, if she's on a phone, it's a dead phone. There's nobody on the other end running lines with her at all. Like, this is all just her.
Yeah.
That's wild. She has great timing.
She does.
Yeah.
She defends herself. She couldn't call earlier because she just got home. When her mother has some words for her, she interrupts. She knows that they always spend Friday night together, but she thought she's interrupted. She assures her mother that she feels fine. Annoyed, she asserts that she's not sick. Finally, she blurts out that there's a man. She shares his name, Arthur, and his occupation, a teacher at City College. She gulps that it's his birthday, and she promised him that they'd spend the evening together. I was like, that sounded weird.
Yeah.
She pauses as her mother lays into her, and she defends herself again, questioning when she's ever broken her word to her mother before. She demands to know when she allegedly breaks her promises. But as soon as she raises her voice with indignance, she lowers it again when her mother changes tactics. She promises, "Of course I love you. Of course I do." She sighs, playing anxiously with her hair as she listens to her mother, and she replies softly that she's not being cruel. It's just that it's his birthday. She reminds her mother that they see each other 2 or 3 nights a week, and she rolls her eyes at her mother's response. And when she starts to yell, begging her to stop treating her like a child because she's all grown up, she quickly backs down that she's not yelling. When the subject is apparently switched to her apartment, Amelia asserts that she likes it here, and it's only a sublease. They'll be back in 6 months. Stuttering, she admits that she likes having it for herself. She likes being alone. But she's quickly reduced to tears when she amends that she doesn't mean it like that and she's sorry. She finally confesses that she's been seeing Arthur for about a month and she meant to tell her before. She swears that he's a nice man. He's kind and gentle and her mother would like him. When her mother starts to concoct a narrative, Amelia says that it didn't happen that way. She met Arthur after she got the apartment. She pauses again before cutting her off, changing the subject that she should see what she got Arthur for his birthday. It's a genuine Zuni fetish doll that she got from a curio shop. We zoom in close to the doll's face before Amelia picks it back up. She explains that it's a Zuni hunting fetish, and she got it because Arthur teaches anthropology. She switches from the couch to the chair, chuckling that it's really interesting because there's supposed to be a Zuni hunter spirit inside of the doll. There's a golden chain wrapped around it to keep the spirit from making the doll come to life. She repeats herself when her mother doesn't understand.
She's like, I'm not about all this exposition. We were supposed to hang out tonight.
Amelia consults the scroll. Should the chain be removed, spirit and doll will become one living. When she's interrupted, she says that that's what it says on the scroll and that she should just see his face. When her mother hangs up on her, Amelia's features soften in her sadness. She laments, why is it always like this?
Even the doll's like, damn.
Yeah.
Want to talk about it? Or?
It's like his expression softened.
Yeah. His teeth aren't sharp anymore.
As she hangs up the receiver, the golden receiver. No,
That's fantastic.
It's really good. She vows that she will not get a headache. She's going to take a bath and then she's going to meet her fella. She tells the doll that they're going to have a lovely time, but the grief over the conversation is written all over her face, no matter how hard she tries to get past it. She moans, "Mom," as she sets the doll down, facing us. She gets up to go take her bath, oblivious to the golden chain knocking loose from around the doll's waist and clattering to the table when it falls off.
How did you not hear that?
I know.
That was heavy as hell.
Yeah.
It fades to black. She's got a lot on her mind.
All right.
It was really loud.
It was.
Later, Amelia, clad in her robe and running her bath, walks into her bedroom and sits down on the side of the bed. She dials a number into her rotary phone, waiting patiently for someone to answer. When they do, a sincere smile spreads across her face as she tells Arthur, hello. She starts to speak, but when Arthur seemingly finishes her hesitant thought for her, she concedes that he knows her too well. She rationalizes that Friday nights are their one night on the town, like she told him before. And she says that she just doesn't want to hurt her mother's feelings when moving out was already so hard on her. When Arthur seems to defend Amelia's decision to move out, she agrees defensively that she knows she had every right to. She also knows that they were planning to spend the evening together, but she broaches that it's only one day. Can't they celebrate his birthday tomorrow night?
No, Amelia.
I know.
Yeah.
She admits that she just doesn't want to hurt her mom's feelings. She is her mother, after all. She listens to Arthur's response and quietly tells him goodbye before hanging up the receiver. She sits there for a moment in the aftermath of the decision she's made, and she mutters, "Hooray for Friday night." I was like, God damn it, dude.
Yeah.
It's so sad because you can see that this is the cycle.
Yeah.
And her trying to stand up for herself. It's just her mom fucking hung up on her. She made her feel good. Like she ruined her evening. She ruined her night.
And it's only going to get worse from here.
Yeah. Maybe she's not the one that ruined let me amend that. Amelia goes into the kitchen and takes out a steak from the fridge. After setting it on a baking sheet, cutting it, and shaking out some very meager sprinkles of salt and pepper, she pops it in the oven.
I
was like, girl.
I've made many a steak.
Yeah. I was like, what was that?
Nothing.
What the fuck was that sprinkle?
Yeah.
Nothing.
I was like, I hope Nate doesn't describe it as seasoning.
Yeah, no.
I couldn't.
It's like you opened the lid and like put it over it and then just closed it again.
It's the essence of
yeah,
salt.
With that done, she goes into the living room and switches on the lamp. But just before she can settle into the chair, her eyes fall on the coffee table. She wonders, where did you go? Fall off the table? She walks over to find the gold chain coiled on the table and the doll completely gone.
Cut to me in the hallway. Because I'm out. I'm done.
No,
I'm gone. No.
She kneels to the ground and peeks under the table, but it's not there either. Amelia scoots the table out of the way and reaches blindly under the couch, wondering where it went. With a gasp, she suddenly pulls her hand back out, revealing a drop of blood beading on the tip of her ring finger. Amelia brings her finger to her mouth, sucking the blood, and yes, effectively making herself evil.
It's just science. That's just what happens. Maybe it's foreshadowing.
Clever writing once again. She mumbles that she found him. Well, the tip of his spear, at least. She goes behind the couch, moving the ottoman out of the way as she questions aloud how it could have gotten that far back. Again, yeah. How?
I will be honest, I do like this because if I am here by myself, if I'm looking for something, I am going to talk to
sure,
it.
Of course,
sure.
So I was like, okay, yeah, where did he go? Oh, shit, you found the spear.
Yeah.
Dude, in this segment, this is a one-woman show.
Absolutely.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
She lowers herself to the carpet and peers beneath the couch where, as promised, the spear sits in the shadows. She picks it up, reasoning that she's getting warmer. But when she looks under the couch again, the doll still isn't there. When she hears movement across the room, she jerks up, asking, "Is that you, little man?"
Mr. Marbles?
But she dismisses this with a giggle and goes back to looking under the couch, asserting with a sigh that it's gotta be here. She hears something clatter in the kitchen and she calls out, her brow furrowed in confusion. What's going on? She follows the sound, but finds the kitchen empty. However, when she goes to the knife rack propped up on the counter, she finds that the tiniest one is gone. What was that knife for?
Yeah. This tonight.
Yeah, for that.
Yes. And it's very funny. He's like, I can't carry.
Yeah, well, he knows at least that.
I know my limitations.
Yeah.
She looks around for it, chastising herself, but she looks toward the door just in time to see a shadow scurry by. Amelia goes in the direction, taking slow, measured steps, continuing to belittle her own fear. But of course, she finds the room empty, save for herself. She creeps back out to the living room as a low score drones. Finally, she declares that wooden dolls do not move about. Just then, the lamp behind her goes out.
Someone is using a very tiny knife to cut the power, I guess.
Presumably.
How does he know that?
Yeah.
It's a quick study. You know lamps?
Yeah,
Holy shit, dude.
And to go to the kitchen to find the
Yeah. That's true.
Well, where do you think he keeps his knives when he was a human?
That's true.
In the kitchen drawer?
Yeah, naturally.
Amelia excuses that the bulb probably just burned out. She goes to turn it back on, but suddenly she throws her head back and lets loose blood-curdling screams. We follow her gaze as she looks down to find the Zuni fetish doll, voiced by an uncredited Walker Edmiston, thrashing around her shins, flailing as it drags the blade of the tiny knife across her flesh.
Thought it might be. This is the beginning of just frightful fun.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is a blast, this segment.
Mm-hmm. I like Chucky, Puppet Master, all that. This is, and like I said, I had to have watched this because this I remember.
Yes.
All of this I remember. And again, it's another tiny attacking toy.
Yeah. Which is really your bag.
Yeah.
You really enjoy that. But it's like this feels kind of like a grandfather to,
Yes.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Amelia hops around, pulling herself up to the back of the couch. She looks down at the doll, and we see him against a black background, the small knife clutched in his hand and his sharp teeth bared as he cries out. She jumps off the couch and limps away toward her bedroom, falling onto the carpet before she reaches the door. On the commentary, Karen Black talked about how physically difficult this last story was for her. She said that for every one time that you see her fall, it was about 18 times that she did it and it didn't work.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't used. And she can only take falls, she said, on her right side. So she was falling on the same side again and again and again. And she said she was just covered in bruises.
Oh, my God.
But that they were laughing a lot during shooting this because the arms, like the limbs kept falling off of the doll. And we see her fighting it for a lot of it. And that there were times, and you can tell that they're just throwing the doll at her.
Yeah.
Very clearly. I since we're talking about the doll for a second.
Yeah.
I love, firstly, the POV of this doll and this camera work as it's
Yes.
following
Yeah.
her. It's so good, and it really kind of fills in the blanks of some of the things, maybe some limitations.
Yeah.
But I did read the exterior of this building that we saw is a real, I think it's called Century Park East condominiums in Los Angeles. But the inside is entirely a set.
Oh, wow.
And so what they did is they built the set 8 feet above the actual stage floor. And so you can have the puppeteer moving around the entirety of the set
That's great.
Okay.
and maneuvering the doll.
Yeah.
And it's campy, it's cheesy, but it's effective.
It's so
is.
good. Amelia peers over her shoulder to find the doll hot on her trail, crying out and snarling as it approaches. We glide toward her in the doll's POV as she scampers back and screams. With her pinned against the wall, the dog does get its licks in, slashing her legs with its blade. She's able to grab the doll and throw it away, buying her enough time to take a lap around the living room, sprint into her bedroom, and slam the door. The doll continues crying out, wielding the knife on the other side of the door, but Amelia sinks down to the side of her bed, grabbing her phone. She sobs as it rings, and over the banging and snarling at the door, she begs for the operator to call the police. She pleads that she doesn't know where she's located. Just send the police. It's an emergency. I was watching this with Jackson, and Jackson goes, she doesn't know where she lives.
Yeah.
I
I was like, I didn't even think
And
about
haven't we been here for a little
A
bit?
month.
Yeah, you said what? She's subletting it or something?
Yeah.
So maybe she's like, I don't even fucking know.
Yeah.
lived here
It's
for
not
a
my
month.
mail. But you probably should know. where you
Yes.
live.
Yeah. At least the street.
At the very least.
Yeah.
You know those big ass beautiful apartments on Melrose or whatever?
Her eyes widen with fear when she looks across the room at the door that suddenly begins to push open. She drops the phone and pulls herself up onto the bed, her hands and knees bleeding, crimson smears across her cheek. The door opens wider, revealing the doll to be hanging from the golden doorknob.
That was so funny. Like, super funny.
He is more capable than we thought.
Yeah.
He's learning quickly.
You
Yeah.
used the doorknob?
Wow. Lamps, kitchens, doorknobs.
It's like, I bet this shit ain't even locked.
Yeah. It's like,
And
you
it wasn't.
didn't lock it?
Yeah.
And it wasn't.
It's like, I don't know this place yet.
Yeah.
I don't know who else Amelia thought would be on the other side of the door, but at the sight of the doll, she shrieks in fresh horror. Her eyes brim with tears as she scoots to the other side of the bed when the doll comes running. She sprints into the bathroom and slams the door, but she has to hop away when the doll's sharp knife comes swinging blindly in the small gap beneath the door. She lumbers to the bathtub, still full of waiting water. Amelia cleans the blood off her hands, asserting that this can't be happening. The blade continues swiping back and forth under the door as Amelia grabs a towel and sits down on the toilet lid, sobbing as she blots the slices on her legs. The door handle begins to rattle.
Like, I know what these are.
Yeah.
It worked for him last time. The lock trembling as it's manipulated on the other side of the door. Abruptly, it swings open and the doll flies into the room.
This borderlines on ridiculous for me because that means you found a wire hanger or something thin
Something.
enough
He picked the
to
lock.
put,
Yes.
in the little hole
Or
in the
his
doorknob.
tiny knife.
Come on. How tiny? Do you know how small that little hole is?
It was small. I don't. And I'm sorry. At this point, he just wants it more.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sure, dude.
Thinking quickly, Amelia throws the towel in her hand at it, blinding it. She's able to grab the doll, wrapping the towel tight around it and dunk it into the bathtub, submerging it in the water. But Amelia quickly abandons this, fleeing the bathroom. We get a quick shot through the open door where the Zuni fetish immediately gets back up, freed from the sodden towel. This shot of him popping up in the bathtub was fucking hilarious.
Well, look, I understand. Like this makes sense on a logical level if you're being attacked by someone or something.
Yeah.
There's no lungs in this thing.
Yeah. No.
He's like, that meant nothing to me.
She sees the doll coming, the knife clenched in its sharp teeth, and we travel from its POV as he chases Amelia through the living room, dodging the crashing objects that she throws at it. Finally, she's able to run into a closet and close the door. The doll cries out, gibbering and snarling as it tries to pull the door open. And it's strong because Amelia is barely able to keep it closed, holding the knob with both hands.
Yeah.
But she spots a suitcase, and in one quick move, she grabs it and lets go of the door. The doll hangs from the doorknob and goes flying when the door opens. And I did wonder, we have so much green in this segment.
Yeah.
Like, everything's green. The carpet's green. The suitcase is green. Like, I was just wondering if that, you know, I don't know, was intentional in any way. But quickly, the doll jumps up, screaming and crying out as he runs in a full sprint right at Amelia and her waiting suitcase. He runs right inside, and Amelia slams the case firmly shut. She throws it to the ground, leaving it behind as she rushes to the kitchen and swipes through the drawers, its contents clattering loudly.
The doll doesn't know suitcases yet.
Yeah, no.
Like, what the fuck is this?
It's like, shit. She got me.
After retrieving a screwdriver, she rushes to the front door where she tries to pry the lock open, but her intensity fades when she hears a steady sawing and the doll's screeching goes quiet. What's happening with her door?
You're inside already.
Yeah.
Well, that's her lock.
Yeah.
Yes.
I didn't understand what we're doing.
It's not like we're trying to break into somebody else's apartment.
No, yeah.
I was really confused. But as a kid, you just fucking accept it. You're like, well, I guess the doll locked.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Or maybe there's a deleted scene where she's talking to her mom. She's like, yeah, the lock's still busted. Uh-huh.
I just didn't,
Yeah.
I didn't understand.
Or even if he did it, would be like, did he bend it or something? But then again, if you're able to do that, then
That's
yeah,
that's
we're
hilarious.
screwed.
Yeah.
Amelia turns to find the blade of the tiny knife sawing through the thick siding of the green suitcase. Amelia walks over and kneels next to it, choosing, for some reason, to try to catch the darting knife in her pinching fingers.
What are you doing, dude?
I know.
No.
I know.
I would turn it over.
I would do anything
Or
but
shake the
this.
shit out of it to disorient him. Yeah. It's like, I don't know if I'm up or down. I don't know what's going on.
All she gets, of course, is sliced for her trouble, and bright red runs down her hand when she pulls it away. Not able to get out through the front door, Amelia turns instead to the window. But when she's opening it, the doll frees itself. His head pops out of the hole in the suitcase as he's reborn, but Amelia is swift. She descends on the doll, stabbing the hell out of it with her screwdriver until it goes still and silent. Only a moment of this stillness and silence is enough for Amelia, who unlatches the suitcase and slowly opens it.
Why?
But fake out!
I know.
No, really?
Yeah.
The doll lurches from the case, sinking his razor-sharp teeth into Amelia's arm. She flings it wildly, trying to shake it free, but the doll holds on until she swings her arm and crashes it into a lamp, shattering it. Freed from the doll, she tries to run away, but she immediately falls. The doll sprints toward her, and Amelia barely too fast into the kitchen, out of his reach. When she slams the door this time, it closes on the doll's tiny wooden arm. He moans, screeching and screaming, and Amelia pulls the door tighter until it loses its grip on the tiny knife and it clatters to the floor. Amelia kicks it away with her wounded foot, but the resulting satisfied smile on her face is short-lived. The doll forces the door open and dashes for the knife. Amelia tries to stop him, throwing herself to the ground and giving the doll the opportunity to take a bite at a crime. And by crime, I mean Amelia's neck.
Oh.
She fights to get back on her feet, somehow screaming despite her mouth not moving.
Amelia, it's in there again.
As she twists, reaching for the doll on her neck. She eyes the closed door of the oven. As she pulls it open, she's finally able to wrench the doll from her neck and toss it inside to make friends with the smoking, charred steak inside. Forgot about that steak.
Yeah. He was out of line, though.
He was.
He was getting out of line.
You know what? That almost made me think he was out of line.
He was.
Getting out of
Like,
line.
now see
Oh,
here.
yeah.
I thought of almost the Jiffy Pop from Scream.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Where it's still happening, but we've been distracted
Yeah.
from it. Bracing her foot against the counter, Amelia pushes all of her weight against the oven door. The doll thrashes inside as it bursts into flames, and Amelia has to shield her ears against its desperate cries. He flops around inside the oven, burning, presumably to death, black smoke billowing from behind Amelia. Finally, his screeches dissolve into a pathetic wail before going completely silent.
No, it's just smoke, right? That's not like something being released or anything.
No,
Yeah.
I'm sure it's just smoke from
Okay.
that bland ass steak.
Yeah. Like, I've honestly done myself a favor.
Once again, this brief silence is enough for Amelia to open the door to the oven and peer inside. As she screams, we watch her from behind the flames and the smoke inside, and Amelia falls from our view. It fades to black, and we come back to find her phone still abandoned on the bedroom carpet, droning its nagging tone to alert her that it's off the hook. Wordlessly, Amelia picks it up and dials in a phone number. When the person on the other end answers, Amelia speaks with her back to us, her voice calm and soothing. She apologizes to her mother for acting the way she did, and she thinks that they should spend the evening together, just the way they planned. She reasons that it's kind of late, though. Why doesn't she come over here and they'll go from Amelia's place? She turns to where we can see her face, her flat, almost dazed expression, and her sparkling blue eyes, as she assures her mother that she's all right. And she ends the call. Good. I'll be waiting for you. Amelia rips the bolt out of the door with her bare hands, and the pieces clatter to the floor. She takes a few steps back, hunkering down in her robe, her hair still mussed, her appendages still smeared with blood. She clutches a large knife in her hand. She stabs the floor, twists it, stabs the floor, twists it. We press in on Amelia's face, her eyes fixed on the closed door in front of her, just waiting for her mother to walk through. Stab, twist, stab, twist. An eerie score whines as Amelia's stoic face breaks into an unnerving smile, revealing her new, spiky, razor-sharp teeth.
I love this.
They're super white.
They're
They
super
are.
white. She's new. Karen Black said that the teeth were her idea.
That's a great
Okay,
idea.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it cuts to black and the credits roll. So, what did you guys think of Trilogy of Terror?
I really enjoyed this. This was a fun movie. And like I said, like this ending, the teeth being super white, they're new. But it is, you could tell they're fake, but there's still charm there because it still looks crazy.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's still like, that's fucking nuts. I do still like this movie. This was pretty good, and I had a hell of a lot of fun talking about it with you guys. I think the only thing in being in all honest and fairness, it's the first one's fine. The second one, kind of whatever.
Touch and go.
Yeah. That last one though is good. It's real good. But I think it is as a whole the first the first two, they're, whatever. This third one really stands out.
Mm-hmm.
But man, it is fun just to kind of revisit it, watch it again, look at it again on a rewatch, like we talked about too, and recognizing stuff and being able to tell a little earlier. But I mean, I think for the time it was made and what they did and what they were doing, like, it's great. It's a good movie. There's a lot of charm to it. I can totally understand also if people don't like it,
Yeah.
or if it's not their thing. I get it, because again, I not in a mean way. Am I in a rush to watch it? Probably not. But would I watch it again? Hell yeah. You know what I mean? If it was on, I'm gonna watch it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna run to the bathroom when it's the second segment, or like go get something.
Don't pause it.
Yeah. Don't pause it. I know what's happening. I'll be right back.
Yeah.
Like, it's okay. But I'm gonna finish it too. You know what I mean? I am gonna come back, sit down, wash my hands first, then come back.
Yes.
And then you know what I mean, and finish it. But what a ride! And Karen Black.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just do. I got this. You don't need nobody else. I got it.
Literally.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think the only thing for me to add is just the power of nostalgia.
Mm-hmm.
Having grown up with it and watched it so many times.
Oh, I bet.
It's just one of those things that it is this returning home, this feeling of comfort with this anthology.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact of it being a horror anthology.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think we all three love those so much.
That's got built-in points.
yeah. These little bite-sized stories.
Yeah.
Are they a little uneven? Sure. Is the second one not even as good as the first one? Yeah. But the third one is just so remarkable and it's so much fun.
Yeah.
And it is one of these things where you watch it and you feel like a kid again.
Mm-hmm.
But even watching it as an adult, you see the craft and the charm and the skill that went into it.
Yeah.
Whether it's the technical side of what they did with that doll, or some of these things that they're doing through cinematography, Karen Black's performances,
Yeah.
4 of them, and honestly creating 4 completely different characters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is this campy little TV anthology, but she's putting in some really good work.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know. I think that there's also some depth to a couple of the stories if you want to search for it.
Right.
Or, just have this campy little blast of watching this film, this very short film.
Yes.
It is such a breeze. I will absolutely watch this again for the rest of my life.
Mm-hmm.
I totally agree. This is one that every time I revisit it, I'm like, man, why haven't I watched this more recently? It's just so much fun. It is so short. Like, it really, really is. What, an hour, 12 minutes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's insane. And so it just makes for a very quick watch, just something to, I don't know. It's so entertaining and so, like T was saying, so nostalgic. I just remember how fucking scary that doll was as a kid.
Yeah.
The design on that doll is frightening.
Yeah.
We'll think about it later.
Yeah. I think that it's such a mix of how fun and ridiculous that third segment is at times. But it's so rewatchable. It's such a fun trip down memory lane to take. And like y'all both said, Karen Black is eating it the fuck up. Talk about rent was due.
Yeah.
Her performances are so good. She really, really does embody completely different characters. Even in the first segment, she plays that one character 2 completely different ways.
Yeah.
And it's really remarkable. But yeah, I mean, I guess we can kind of slide into ratings as well. I think that this movie is just so much fun. It's obviously not a perfect film. It is cheesy in areas. It is like that second story,
Yeah.
No, I don't think anybody was surprised
No.
at that reveal. But I was very surprised at the reveal of the first one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the third one, like T said, this is a one-woman show of her. We have these other implied characters, but she carries that whole thing, and her fear feels very real. Like they're like moments of her being frantic or desperate or whatever. Like she just really sells it. Everything that she does, even the duality of Millicent and Therese in that second one, she really does her all playing both of them.
Yeah.
I can't say enough good about her in this, because if if somebody not of her caliber were tasked to do all of these, it simply wouldn't work.
Oh, no.
This would fall apart.
Right.
But and Matheson is fucking fantastic, prolific, incredible writer, exploring his stories. In that second one, it's barely his story.
Yeah.
But it's like being able to watch that and him, pinning that third one, it is just really special. It's really cool that in 1975 they were able to get this on fucking TV.
Yeah.
For movie of the week, 1975 on ABC.
Mm-hmm.
That is incredible. I can't imagine watching that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just so cool. But yeah, I can't say enough how much fun this is. I kick myself every time I watch it again that it's been too long since I watched it the last time because I have a great time every single time. And I'm surprised by those first two, especially the first one, every single time. Poor Nolan, that,
very much. Yeah.
Whatever. But it really is that third one that sticks with you, especially as a child. Her with those teeth.
Mm-hmm.
That doll and her at the end, her face with those teeth tattooed on my brain.
Yeah, that visual
that is something as a child that it's like, oh, we just live together now. We go together real bad after watching that. These visuals are not going to leave. And that doll was so scary. But, I don't know. Nostalgia is a hell of a thing, and allowing, like you said, John Paul, if somebody were to watch this today and be like, I get it, whatever. But I still think that if this was your first watch in 2026, that there is value to be taken from it.
Oh, yeah.
There is entertainment to be taken from it. And again, Karen Black putting on a fucking clinic.
Mm-hmm.
So on a scale from 1 to 10, devilishly dangerous dolls with a little sprinkle of nostalgia being factored in, I am going to give Trilogy of Terror 8 out of 10 devilishly dangerous dolls. I think this movie is so much fucking fun. And if you haven't seen it, it is free on Tubi right now. And you should watch it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sponsored.
No. But we're open to it.
But call us.
Yes.
We need it.
Yeah. I will now open up the floor to you.
I kind of wish that I had seen this a little more when I was younger, because like I said before, I do remember the last segment, but really like looking at it or watching it for the show, it's like, man, this movie, you said 75.
Yeah.
You do, at least for me, I do still see and feel the charm. You know what I mean? Watching it, it's like, damn, I know every movie is a miracle.
Yes.
Right? And I get it. And some movies are just a movie. But this one, I feel like it does have that. It's just kind of radiating off it. It is like, okay, yeah, it might not be perfect, but it is like, you know what? Like you said, T, I will watch it again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I would. There's a lot that, again, like I said, I understand if you don't like it, there's a lot to just kind of like, what the fuck? But I mean, I think we all did anyway, but we still got enjoyment out of it.
For sure.
But no, I did really enjoy this. I would recommend this to anybody. And it is funny because I know I watched it with you guys, but then watching it again, there is still shit that I didn't remember.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like there was still stuff that I just couldn't, like I was like, there's no way I watched this before. I completely don't remember any of that shit. But
That's so unfair, dude.
it's like, oh, it's there.
Yeah.
It is there, but
Mhm.
I couldn't remember it. But even with that, I think there's a special kind of also enjoyment to that, because even if I do, it's like, damn, that doll was crazy.
Yeah.
When I do decide to return to this and then I'm able to experience even that little twist again, the feeling of learning again at the beginning, that was like, oh shit, like it is still there. So you can still, so maybe forgetting isn't too bad.
No.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, all right. But for me, on a scale of 1 to 10, devilishly dangerous dolls, I'm going to give Trilogy of Terror a 7 out of 10. I did enjoy this.
Mhm.
Like I said, I didn't watch it a lot as a kid, but the impact that fucking Zuni fetish doll had, there again, you can't deny it, because I remember that from being a kid, and I was like, I don't even know what the fuck that is.
Right.
And
is that a nightmare I
yeah,
had?
it's like, what the hell was that? And then seeing it, it's like, oh no, yeah, I had to have watched it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's good stuff.
It really is just so memorable, and there's so many iconic things attached to it, you know? I feel like it is funny, again, that all three of us, and including William Nolan, apparently, is like, hey, those two segments are just, whatever. And it's like, Trilogy of Terror, that's a weird name for a film with only one segment in it.
130-minute.
Yeah, that's strange. But no, you return to those and maybe honestly get more enjoyment out of them as an adult.
Yeah.
Because they're very adult segments.
Yes.
But I just think that there is something special, like you were saying, there is something special within this anthology. Even if some of the stuff, it doesn't work entirely, or you guess the second ending before anything's really happened.
Yeah.
You're like, Millicent and Therese is the title. I bet Karen Black's playing both of these.
Is that Roger?
Yeah, what the hell? But it works, and it's very, very well done. And for the amount, because you can imagine the budget was probably nothing.
Yeah.
And what they were able to pull out from it, what Karen Black has accomplished here.
Yeah.
She is so good in this, and it's so much fun. I can't say enough about my enjoyment of this. I understand its limitations.
Yeah.
I understand that it is not, it's not my favorite anthology, but when you add nostalgia into it,
Right.
it becomes a favorite anthology, along with all the work that went into it and what we get on screen.
Yeah.
So, for me, out of 10 devilishly dangerous dolls, and a sincere thank you to Mom for showing this to us.
Yes.
I am going to give Trilogy of Terror 8 devilishly dangerous dolls out of 10. I love it.
Yeah.
I love this movie. I do.
Great. Well, that's all from us at Podmortem. What would you rate Trilogy of Terror, and what should we watch next? Let us know on Instagram at the Podmortem. Be sure to follow us on Twitter and like our Stillhole Productions page on Facebook. Be sure to follow each of us on Instagram and Blue Sky at Blood and Smoke, at Juggalo Daddy 84, and at Travis MWH. Thanks again to Original Cinematic for sponsoring this week's episode. Please consider pledging to our Patreon, where you'll get over 250 hours of bonus content, our monthly schedule, access to our Discord server, and the opportunity to help us decide which films to cover. And if you're looking for Podmortem or Stairhole Productions merch, follow the link in our episode notes. Stay tuned until after the music for a special shout out to our Wendigo Getter patrons. And remember, beware of the intrusive thoughts that invade your mind. Allowing them to coax you out of your character may just lead to your demise. Until next time. Thank you for staying tuned for a special thank you to our Wendigo Getter patrons.
Woo, yeah.
Very good. A special thank you to Chris Ontiveros, Kristen Lofton, Megan Martinez, Kimberly Bass, Sophie Hodson, Anthony Jerome M., Jordan Nash, Kent Morton, Lala Thomas, Travis Anissa Hunter, Miguel Myers ATX, Jennifer Perez, Allison O'Neill, Carissa, TJ and Angie Bronson, Andy Teague, Applin Ontiveros, Karima Rhodes, Kimberly Kleindienst, Bobby Holmes, Donna Eason, JD Rizak, Molly Gerhart, Armand Spasto, Aaron Aguirre, Eggy, William Barry, Charity Oxner, Amanda Six, Mandy Rainwater, Jordan Roberts, Dylan, Spencer Montalvo, Pancake the Panda, John Ramos, Michael Newting, Alexis Roberts, Itzy M, Gary Horton, Kate Lamp, Carlos and Sydney, Jessica Hunter, Helena Rudder, Alan Johnston, Mariah, Livy Fun, Scott Troutman Wise, Mozzie Bear, Dave Burke, Emma Hagel Kissinger, Valerie G, Emiliana, CB, Taylor Santana, Will Lewison, Angelique, Smelly Poo Poo Head, Beth Bauer, Cookie, Esperanza J, Jason Kyle OKC, Joshua Rumley, Danielle Peralta, Sawyer Reese Farr, Sahara, Girl That's Scary, Cassandra, Andrea Simmons, Ashley Hagetta, William and Xxena Rush, Ryan Brom, Megan Ochoa, Laura Lassiter, Eileen O, Marissa E, Henry F, Megan M, Strangely Sarah, Christy Beck, Nancy and Andy, Amanda Lopez, Andy Terrell, Erica Morin, Tris Wynn, K.87, Mariah Jensen, Carrie A., Lonnie Lono, Powell, Kayla E., Maggie H., Murder Stina, Kristen Marcy.
Ori 81 Boricua, Look Like That One Girl, Bog Boy, Felnez 63, Alita Pui, Probably My Jugs, Kate Thackeray, Wade Pack, A Lizard, Bay J, Jay Rich, Topher Williams, Elena Metler, Valerie K, Christy Lee Kruger, Professor of Humanities Laura McCarricker, Naomi, Josh Smith, Autumn Green, Abby Kopp, Crystal 831, Skank Sinatra, Morgan Alexander, Tony Osteen, Julie Fredborg, Rihanna S., Daniel Taylor, Anna Kate, Heather Ortiz, Kim H., August, Jenny May, Old School Cool, Malik Caselli Armstrong, Scarly D., Toya Shea, Katie, Martin Shaw, Star, Tyler J., Cam Davies, Patrick Hoagland, Raven, Wesley Tart, Kristen Jackson, Jacob Nordberg, Samantha, Damian Grant, Half Price Horror, Clemmy, Nisi Nay, Jason X Rolls, Aaron Norman, Victoria Smith, Patricia A. Graham, Erasmo Pena, Danielle Wright, Chuck D., Tabitha Thomas, Connie Lingus, Richard Murray, Irene, Sally Slater 52, Jordan McCarthy, Rosalind Harnias, Emily Rance, Amy, Lisa and Kathy, Mike H., Kristen Sadler, Hannah, Sarah Jack, Casey L., Evelyn Knight, Paula Garcia, Nikki M., Ghastly Grandad, Megan and Alexandra Saldivar, Lisa Sykes, Kelsey Niemeyer Cook, Martina LaForce, JG, Morgan Novello, Ashley, Alex M., Brandon C., Gordon Sutherland, Georgia Renlund, Ashley Poe, Diana Joe, Connor Gormley, Carrie Parker, Katie Face, Jane Pillsbury, Caitlin Asher, Mia Franz,
Pooh Bear, Spicy Caldera, This is the Zodiac Speaking, Jason the Ghost, Moldy Tic Tac, Brian Ward, Tanner Rutgers, Gremlin Keeper 22, Sam Spade 666, Veronica, Kristen Rhodes, Daniel Laurent, Carmito, TVR, A Very Sweepy Baby, Nicholas Rage, A Lazy Boy, Nicola Williams, Sadison Miles, Stu Corbett, Brick O, Jaden Nicole, Lost Fan 08, George L. Robertson, Mercedes X Bleeple, Joel Miller Apologist, Jaylene Perry, Cool Trainer Elijah, Mrs. Bloomingdale, Sierra Duncan, Renee Hart, Meg Like Sleep, Final Boy, Alani, Elizabeth Thompson, Joey, Michelle Nicole, The Lipstick Demon, Less Than Zombie, Franklin Badge, Sean Reeves, The Kryptonian Orphan, Melissa B., Elena C., Jillian Munford, Evil Chris, Rex Term Raoul, Witchy Poop 19, Brian Avers, Danielle Milton, Instant Horror, Just Give Me One Wish Like Ray J, Skin Deep, Christian Salvatierra, Ashay Guevara, Aaron Mr. Clean Bashard, Henny Kravitz, Francisco Olmos, Paunchy Cat, Christina Perez, Buddy Boy Mac, Revamped, a Rewatch Podcast, Sarah Coolidge, Show Livia, Film Fiend, Catherine Clark, Brandon Brown, Jessica Hernandez, Camry, Amy Shipley Like the Donuts, Jack, Alyssa Muskites, Jennifer Hager, Nox Nocturnal, Byron Pittman, Sophia Mason, Most Unholy S'more, Pear Bear, Tom Blades, Bonnie Bazell, Crystal Reddy, Stu Mocker Fokker, Sean Weeks, Chardonnay Carlina, Samira Samuels, The Chief King, Nicholas Doba, Philip Thomas, Ashley Gravely, It's Austin Buttercrush, Kimberly Martinez, and James Floyd. Thank you all so much.
Yes, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Really, thank you so much for Karen Black.
All right.
She was
Very
in
good.
all of these.
It was.
Until next time.